Run when the rhythm's right. Go into the night. Throw until you're out of sight and you're out of my mind. Run when the rhythm's right. Go into the night. Floating as the river flows, easy as it goes to the ocean. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. Promise me, but you never try. Secrets in your eye, you go and run, I'll hide. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. I don't ever wanna be crowned, just another prize. It breaks my heart, heart, breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart. Lost in the midnight blue shadows of the moon. Here with open arms for you, feeling something so new. Said with me you'd reach the sun. Oh, but we were so young. Love me till the summer's done, but keep me in your heart, so I hold on. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. Promise me, but you never try. Secrets in your eye, you go and run, I'll hide. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. I don't ever wanna be crowned, just another prize. It breaks my heart. Colors of the sky, breaks my heart. All I see is colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. Colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. But all I see is colors of the sky. Colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. All I see is colors of the sky. to the ground now, and somehow I feel like you don't know me. Shook me to the ground now, I don't even know how. Brought me to a life that you never showed me. Coming from a locked up ghost, I'll be your sound. But you're coming from the light. There's more to you than you ever thought there was. Yeah, you're coming from the light.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. My name is Resorty, and to you, one and all, I say, hello, friends. How's it going today? Hope you're doing very well today. I seem to have a growth here or some kind. Welcome to you, Pepper.
How dare you?
I mean, what
a growth. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hello, Noms. How are you?
A growth.
I mean, would you prefer a barnacle hanging off the mighty ship that is Riz? Yeah, that's good. You're very good at that.
Yeah.
How's it going, also? Cyber Oracle,
Wait,
good.
hold on.
Yeah, Noms decided that she wants to be Godzilla, constantly building up her heat ray and blasting up various places. That's good stuff. How's it going today, Steve? Hello, Jack. Hello, Windsor. Marks, what's up, my friend? Gellies are a pleasure. Hello, George. Game Urchin, my friend. Welcome. Hello, Silent. Welcome, everybody, on this lovely Saturday morning for us. All dressed in red, it seems, once again.
Now's the mode.
Now's what when. Now's what is happening. I've paid the artist now, and so
boy.
she's off working on them. I tend to get them all at once though, and we're getting 20-some new emotes, I believe.
Boy.
So it might take a while.
Oh
but
boy.
That said, your emote is coming, I swear. Hello, Jarvis. How's it going, my friend? Hello, Jerry Foder. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope your week of teaching went well. My week of teaching went just fine. No big problems yet. Everything is under control. And hope that continues that way for, I don't know what, just 14 weeks more. We're in the home stretch already. Hello to Bad B Bill. Jackcraft, thank you. I am having a really, really good weekend so far.
No student complaints yet.
No student complaints yet. Is that for you or for me or for both?
For both.
For both. That's great.
For both.
Your whole faculty is off there doing their things, and no student is yet sufficiently unhappy to complain to you. They may be unhappy, but not that unhappy.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, BB. Hello to you, Ramrod. Hello, Chaswick. How's it going?
What is funny is when employees complain about each other to me.
That is part of your job, is taking complaints on all people, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Absolutely. Noms, how are you feeling about your weekend?
It's all right.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, we're gonna have lunch today.
Yeah, so one thing I'm looking forward to, I
that
agree.
Makes it sound like usually we don't have
Usually
lunch.
we don't eat lunch, but no, we're having lunch with a friend today.
Yeah.
We mentioned previously that one of Noms' former colleagues is now teaching at this school also on a kind of temporary loan situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he is...
What is that called in soccer?
A loan?
Okay. Yeah, I do go around saying he's on loan to us.
Yeah, he's on loan. He may come permanently eventually. We have to make a bid for him to his home club, but...
Do they have to keep paying his salary?
Possibly. Yeah, you could split the salary. It is possible. But yeah, he's here now. It's really nice having him around. And yeah, we'll get lunch with him tonight.
Everybody likes him so much.
Yeah, there have been a lot of inquiries of can we keep him? And it's possible. It is possible he'll want to stay here longer term or leave for a while and then come back. And who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's nice having...
He is kind of looking.
He's kind of looking. He's thinking about it.
Yeah,
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're having lunch with him this afternoon. I'm not quite sure where yet, but he is new to this part of the country, new to this part of the city, so we can take him somewhere he's not been before.
Probably so.
Most likely. That'd be fun. Or we could try the good Scottish restaurant, the McDonald's. Always very good. Cool.
He's been to that one.
He's been to the McDonald's?
Well, not ours.
A shame. A shame.
Surely he has been to the one in the United States.
They're all different, though. All locally sourced ingredients for the McDonald's food.
I mean, McDonald's Japan does have different ingredients, yes, but also different menu.
It does. So maybe he'd really enjoy that. We'll see.
Hello, I suspect he probably had it growing up, so it's probably not that surprising.
Teaching went well this week. The students are keen to learn. Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to have to fight them and say, like...
They're just very keen. They're not keen to learn.
Right. The students are keen, sharp, ready to go. That's nice too. I assume that part of being keen is partially being keen to learn, but perhaps not in this case. Whichever way, I'm glad your students are good for you, and I hope that continues all semester long as things get, quite busy in other classes. Occasionally they drop back a little bit. But George has a question there for you, Noms.
Well, it's for you too.
Well, I mean, I'd like you to read it because you read it best.
Come to think of it, there's McDonald's. It's McDonald's.
There we go.
It's McDonald's.
Yes, they do not say McDonald's Zoo. They say
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Can't say it.
Some people just say Makudo.
Makudo. Yeah, so and the fellow, the clown fellow's name is Donald McDonald, correct?
Well, that you told me that. Donaldo Macudonaldo.
Please keep saying it.
Donaldo Macudonaldo. Donaldo Macudonaldo.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody can pull up the kana on the using the Google.
Yeah, it's something because the low lead is strange.
The Lonarudo Makudonarudo. I don't think it's that strange, but you know.
I like this language so much. Yeah, so the food is somewhat different here.
Does it taste different?
Honestly, I have not had much food from there. We don't need a ton of...
has anybody had any food from there? I think it's what we have had has, I believe, tasted similar.
At least similar.
The sizes are different.
Yeah, everything's a bit smaller. Absolutely true. That said, I think I saw yesterday in the American media, though it may have been a satire piece, that there's going to be a double Big Mac. It's a Big Mac with like
6 patties?
Yeah, with even more
Is that right?
patties.
I guess it's 4.
Yeah, more meats and more everything. And
4 patties and 6 buns.
It just keeps getting bigger. Eventually, an entire loaf of bread with a little bit more through and through. Yeah, but probably it's coming. I haven't seen that here yet. But.
Yeah, I think the Big Mac is actually kind of interesting because, like, it seems like it's a lot of meat, but I think each of the patties is actually quite small.
Interesting. I don't.
Yeah.
But isn't there like a Big Mac song? All things that go into it.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So I think they're just called all beef patties.
I
They don't. Of course, McDonald's is not going to specify the size of any of these ingredients in a song so that they can reduce it.
Yes, they would never mention the quarter pounder.
Yeah. Royale with cheese. They just increased that price on that.
You preferred Moss Burger in Japan. Yeah, Moss Burger and Freshness Burger are the 2 big local-ish places that are similar enough to McDonald's. They're quite a bit smaller. Yeah, quite smaller. They're able to be held in one hand easily.
Yeah. Although an American child of a colleague of ours like despises Moss Burger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if when we went to hear him play the piano.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a burger and he talked about how terrible. Oh, it's because they now had veggie burgers there. And they were like, ooh, veggie burgers. But he was talking about how terrible Moss Burger is.
Oh, yeah.
So he really didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it's different. I think it's different from... I think Japanese burgers as a whole are different than American burgers.
Well, I think 2 big differences. One, they're often not made with beef. But instead of made with pork.
So maybe that's what he didn't like.
Yeah, ground pork most commonly. And then beyond that, they're also served with a piece of paper around them. Because you wouldn't dare get hamburger grease on your dainty little fingers.
I love that. I wish they did that. Hey, they did do that in the U.S.
Oh, did they?
It failed. Your favorite burger from McDonald's came wrapped in paper.
My favorite? Oh, the Arch Deluxe?
Yeah, didn't it come wrapped in paper?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
But I mean, lots of burgers are wrapped in paper in the U.S., right? You're served in paper, but you're supposed to take the paper off entirely, free the burger, and then get its grease all over your hands.
Maybe that's not what they meant with the Arch Deluxe. Maybe they were like, oh, people can eat it with the wrapper on. And
no, I'm pretty sure the Arch Deluxe, my favorite hamburger ever, because it was meant for adult people, and I was 14 and wanted to be an adult badly, it came in a clamshell. It came in a clamshell that was
Yeah.
whitish.
Oh
Yeah.
no, but I thought it had a white paper inside the clamshell.
It may have, and I didn't know what to do with it because I was not an adult and I didn't use it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. They still have Ebi Burger at McDonald's. I don't recall seeing that shrimp burger, but they may have it.
My guess is yes.
Obviously Ebi is super, super popular here, and
Avocado Ebi is a very popular Subway sandwich.
yeah, shrimp and avocado. Absolutely, that's
Very,
something
very
that
popular.
I would have never imagined, but a lot of our students really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
How it goes.
Yeah.
Discussions of food.
I mean, it's an island nation. There's a lot of seafood here.
There's a lot of seafood indeed.
There's they have croquettes are very popular in Japan, which are basically mashed potatoes that are breaded and deep fried.
That seems about
Croquettes,
right.
yeah.
But if you get a French name, it sounds so fancy and maybe even healthy.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Japan they're called korokke. Yeah, they're very, very popular, but in most cases they all contain crab.
That's right. Yeah. a little-
Because it's considered nice. They're like, well, ours is a good croquette. It has crab.
Yeah, this is also why regularly there'll be a vegetarian salad or vegetarian meal of some sort that will include random pieces of seafood.
Yeah, ebi.
Absolutely. Here comes some shrimp in the middle of your vegetarian salad because it makes it fancy. Why wouldn't you want fancy? A fine question, that. I have 2 stories today. Nam, do you have any stories you'd like to share before we move
Not
on?
yet, but I always like talking about food.
You do always like talking about food. It's true. It's true.
Donaldo Macdonaldo.
I mean, do you want to talk about last night's dinner then?
Donaldo Macdonaldo. I don't know that there's anything to mention in particular about it.
We had dinner last night. The end. Okay. So, one story involves the shirt I'm currently wearing. My most treasured possession. I wear it once a week, of course, the old Wrexham shirt. I've been hesitant to wash it. I wear it for a very short period on Saturdays, usually just during stream. I then take it up and hang it up nicely. But after a couple weeks of this, I decided, okay, now we need to actually wash this thing. And because I love this so very much, if a fire came and burned down the place, I would save the shirt before I saved Nam's.
If you were on a plane,
Yeah.
and that hit another plane because it was wandering on the runway when it wasn't supposed to be, you would save that shirt before me?
Yeah. In case of absolute disaster, I could save one thing. I'd save this shirt. No, of course not. But
Well, you did call me a barnacle. So, as a barnacle, I would already be stuck to you.
that's lovely. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I decided I wanted to wash the shirt, though. And so there are very explicit care instructions inside of the shirt. And I wanted to follow them all absolutely perfectly, and ultimately I did do so. But one of them is do not dry it inside of the
Dryer?
Yeah, the dryer, very good. And one of them is use cold water only, and there are a few other little things like gentle cycle, etc. Fine. And so I figured out how to go to the gentle cycle. I should mention here that our washer dryer is all in Japanese buttons, and there's so many buttons and indicators.
It's a combination washer
Yeah,
dryer.
a combination washer dryer. There's so many buttons and indicators and all the rest. And so getting it off of the normal AI mode, which I don't know what it actually does, but it washes and dries automatically. Getting off of that was difficult enough, and then pushing the buttons through and finding how to make gentle, got done. I did only wash, no dry, no problems, of course. But then came the issue of how do I turn off the hot water? And I pushed so many buttons and looked at so many indicators and got out the manual and started reading. I could not find any indicator of how to make the hot water stop running. Eventually deciding there is no way to stop. I'm going to have to hand wash my shirt. And then one last search, went onto the Reddit, typed in the model of the machine, said how to turn off hot water, and got the reminder that Japanese washing machines do not use hot water. It's all cold water here. So I spent a tremendous amount of time, better than half an hour's worth of time, attempting to figure out how to do something I didn't need to do at all.
Yeah, we should have known that because there's only one hose that goes into the
Yeah, there's only one
washer.
hose that goes into it. I think I assumed either it's just hot water going in,
Yeah.
or it maybe heated it inside of the thing.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, maybe I should have hand washed it. I understand in principle how to do that, though with a shirt like this I really care about that costs a decent amount of money, I would want to hand wash it safely. And so I spent a lot of time probably researching it online and spent more time. Anyway, it is now washed. It did not shrink in the wash. I'm very pleased. And now it smells nice and clean again.
You said it cost a decent amount of money, and I'm like, I realize now how much I don't know how much it cost.
Yeah, I think it might be $70 or so.
Oh, okay,
it's not
right.
crazy money, but maybe even a little bit more. Maybe over 100.
I was like, how many digits is this?
Yeah, $4,000.
4,000 yen? We're okay with 4,000 yen.
Do they actually use hot water in the U.S. in washing machines? Yes. Yes, Americans are pretty well convinced that hot water is how you clean things, killing germs and so on.
I think it's the idea that things, the powder, the washing liquid works better in hot water or something.
Yeah, in the
like
same
it
way,
disperses more.
Yeah, in the same way that you use like hot water when washing your dishes. So yeah, that's how it goes. In Japan, we only use cold water. Absolutely. Yeah. And this is the kind of thing that's what I did not realize until I left the U.S. is different around the world. So there you go.
I thought White Pony said, as a plumber, we use hot water to kill barnacles, and I was like, uh-oh. But then I reread it, and I realized it was not. They're not coming for the barnacles.
So I don't know how Japan deals with the bacteria question. If it's if it's true worldwide that you need hot water to kill bacteria, because we just don't use hot water in this kind of washing. Maybe our clothes are covered in bacteria. That's why we're all sick all the time.
Maybe we're supposed to wash the washer once a week too.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. The number of you have to wash this and take us apart and clean it is much, much higher here than the U.S.
I don't know how people have time for this.
I mean, I've heard fairly directly that this is why there's still an expectation of a stay-at-home parent here.
Okay.
Usually, is because there is so much housework to do.
There is so much housework here, and then people like go out and party until like midnight or something. I don't understand how people do this.
I think some of them are probably like the younger folks, or often just the men folks. I think it's still a heavily patriarchal society. I think women are expected to stay home and clean. Speaking of which, during stream today, you better be cleaning.
I'm cleaning up my job site, metaphorically. But like younger folks, they're single then. So are their houses just a mess? Because they still are going to have to clean their bathtub and their washing machine and their everything, right?
Well, I think one thing to say is because the size of apartments here is much smaller than the U.S., often young single people only have one room. And they'll have no washing services, and they'll take it to a laundromat instead. Yeah. So I think if you have a house of our size, where it's multiple rooms across multiple floors, then it's expected that you do the chores. Gosh darn it!
I wonder if the laundromats have hot water.
A great question.
Because like
they do have those giant,
yeah.
Like clean your
Put
duvet.
your futon in
Exactly right. And so I'm guessing those might have hot water availability. I'm not sure though. I'm really not sure at all about this. But yeah, there you go. Does the dishwasher only use cold water in Japan? No, because I remember seeing steam coming out of our dishwasher.
Well, but the steam comes out for heat, for dry.
Oh.
But I think it gets warm.
Well, actually, the one thing to say is we don't have a standing hot water tank here.
We do not know.
Yeah, Japanese houses in general don't. We have a little button you push when you want hot water.
I think Europe is like that too.
I think so. The U.S. is almost always on.
Because I watched House Hunters International.
That's wonderful. So dishwashers usually heat their own water? Okay. Yeah, in that case, I don't quite know how it's done. And now I'm suddenly worrying, did our washing machine make the water hot, and my beloved shirt's gonna shrink? Hey, everybody, use the laundromat in Tokyo. The machines did have hot water. Okay. In this case, I just don't know what I'm talking about. The shirt came out cool to the touch. And I'm sure it went from the wash cycle to like a quick spin to wring out the water, and that was it. But yeah.
I wonder, but I wonder if that's like a bonus. If you go to the laundromat, you get more options.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's even a shoe washer machine.
Yeah.
Like because everybody has really fancy sneakers here. Like Air Jordans are really, really big and like very fashionable, all kinds of sneakers here.
It is considered like, is it called streetwear or something? There's like some set of clothing which includes like a lot of fancy shoes.
Yeah.
Fancy tennis shoes especially.
I have never seen so many Louis Vuitton things in my life. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but I've never seen so many of these, and I even went to New York for one.
Yeah, it's mostly watching sneakers or shoes that are cloth in some way, as opposed to watching my dress shoes.
Yeah, that's right.
The one thing I've not seen here at all is shoe shiners.
that's
So usually
true.
in an airport or a train station in the U.S., you'd see a person whose job it is to have you like climb into this giant throne, and then you sit there, and they shine your shoes while you're wearing them.
Yeah.
I assume. I mean, I know you can
There's
drop.
plenty of room for that.
I know you could drop them off at a clothes repair place.
Yeah.
I've seen signs that show like dirty shoes, clean shoes, which
Yeah.
indicates they probably do it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, maybe some people have multiple pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I've got 1.5 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I imagine
Yeah.
like most Japanese salary men probably have like maybe one brown, one black, or just one black. So how are you gonna drop off your shoes for them to be shined?
I mean, I think the answer is actually sandals then.
Oh.
Very commonly, Jap people have some sandals, including those wooden ones, which I still do not have, but
I don't understand why people wear those.
the wooden shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the traditional sandals of Japan. If you've played the game Kenshi, these are the early game shoes that help you to run fast. They are the most basic sandals you can imagine.
Do they make the terrible clip clop noise in the game too?
There are no clip clop noises in the game. You're running on sand mostly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they are genuinely a piece of wood, and then your foot, and then some like tiny white cloth that hangs it onto your toes.
Yeah, and if people are otherwise wearing like traditional wear, I understand that. But sometimes people are wearing like sweatpants with those.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, I really wonder if they're comfortable though. I don't want to buy them just to find out they're uncomfortable, and that it's a kind of communal penance that we wear it regularly.
Yeah, that's what all those people are doing. They're like, well, I bought them, so now I guess I gotta wear them.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
might as
right.
well wear comfy pants if I'm gonna be wearing these shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the workplace, but for some workplaces, you actually take off your shoes to go into your office and you just wear slippers at the office site. So it could be that maybe some of those people's shoes don't get much use.
Possibly. It's only 1.5 pairs of shoes, so they're full sets of shoes. Not like I have like one extra left shoe. It's instead I have a pair of tennis shoes that I only wear to go to the gym, and very regularly for the rest of the day. I don't like wearing tennis shoes. I feel, I don't know, like weird and clunky and American while wearing them, and so I wear my like brown dress shoes basically everywhere all the time, to the point that I'm considering getting some other pair of dress shoes to use as my like at work shoes, then these become my everyday shoes possibly.
I mean, you do have another pair of everyday shoes that you need to break in. Maybe you just need a hammer, or you need to beat them against the ground a few times.
It's true. I do have a pair of shoes that I purchased in the U.S. just before we left, and I thought they were a nice pair of shoes. Now I'm just gonna go try to get them. I think they may be on too high of a shelf for her. We'll see. And I think I've worn them 2 or 3 times and gotten terrible, terrible blisters every time. And so I've said to myself, I'm not going to try to break them in just because it feels so terrible every single time I try. Do you get them, Noms? You get them?
Oh yeah, they're not that high
Not that
up.
high? Yeah. So,
not that high
so these
up.
are the shoes I bought, and I like these shoes so much. Like they're a style that I think I would look good in. Like, they have the little tying here, and they're Tom's brand. How nice! But yeah, every time I've worn them, I got
Some poor people in an underdeveloped country got a pair of shoes when you bought those?
yeah. It says
Supposedly.
It says that 1/3 of profits for grassroots good. So a portion of the purchase of this shoe, just the left shoe, we didn't get the right one.
That's your half pair.
My half pair went to charity apparently.
Maybe that's why maybe this is a half pair too, because you have it but you don't actually wear them.
It's true. To be entirely honest with you, I forgot that these existed.
I just saw them the other day. So
I've been so disappointed by my inability to break them in. And so I think what I need to do is, well, no, I was going to say wear bandages on my foot to break them in.
That's what women do, yes?
Do women actually do this?
Yeah.
I mean, people generally would do this then.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, though, that would not strengthen my... calluses and so on.
Where is it rubbing? Where's the problem?
Welcome to podiatry with Risen Knob. So it rubs all on the back edge here.
Okay.
It's quite firm from this point around to this point.
Is it just at the tip, or is it in the inside too?
It is both at the tip and around the outside.
Around the inside, like deeper in, not just at the tip here.
I will have to do some science
inside
later.
as
I
well.
honestly am not sure, but
I mean, another thing you could do is if you have room, you could wear thick socks with it until this part breaks down a little bit more.
yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Might be worth trying. I just don't know. But
This part's actually made with like a thinner material.
yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but what I know is it feels pretty bad. So
But it's just the heel portion.
just the heel portion feels pretty bad. But yes, in my attempt to wear something other than plain brown shoes, and honestly, the only kind of shoes I've used for a very, very long time are plain brown shoes. Possibly since I was like 17 years old. All the way through.
Tight?
My normal shoes?
These.
I don't recall. It has been more than a year since I wore them. I remember just being so saddened by them that I've taken them out of mind, I've forgotten them entirely, and
I'm softening it now.
yeah, Dom's actually over there bending it back and forth. That is very, very nice. If I consume a lot of salt in the water, I can get swollen feet, and that will fill it up better. That's good. The issue is that my feet are too big, probably not too small. That's it. What size are these? Did I get 12.5 or 13s? It should be size 13, but it doesn't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, they're US 13, which is my normal size, but thank you for bending them back and forth.
Especially because that's kind of how, like, these are more developed Toms, but that's kind of how Toms work.
I didn't know that.
Like the very, very basic original Toms are they're kind of softer shoes, and they also kind of mold a little bit to your feet, I think.
Interesting. I wish
a little Birkenstocky in that sense.
I wish they had a little sign on them that said "Hello, new Tom's owner," who's never had this thing before. These shoes will hurt your feet, but that's the point.
I wonder if it's.
Yeah, think of doing that, Noms. But we can do it after stream. I can sit and watch football in a couple days and bend it back and forth, and hope it works out. We'll see. HPG, good seeing you. Everyone else come in recently. Thank you for being here. Old Beard, hello. How's it going today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. You can't hide your Americanness by wearing different shoes. See, I'm not sure. I think if I stopped wearing, or if I don't wear tennis shoes in public, and I don't lean on things, there's a real possibility that people will, if I don't speak, imagine me a Canadian. That's all I want, is to be imagined as a Canadian, possibly.
See, here are my Toms. So
Real
nicely
quick,
broken
before
in.
that, Uncle Elias, good seeing you, says, take a hammer to the shoe, seriously.
I did wonder about that, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
so place the shoe over something sturdy and tap, tap, tap the back. You had that issue in the military. Huh. Or throw them in an industrial washer dryer, it might work. At this point, the shoes are dead to me, so if they end up getting ruined, I'm actually okay with that. No, I prefer they wouldn't get ruined, of course, but yeah. Hello, Slivers.
So look at how nicely
See,
these are my Toms.
I feel so weird showing your shoes on stream. Like, our chat's totally cool and not weird, but I was watching some video on the YouTube the other day, and it had a woman presenter who was talking about this and that, and it was a great little presentation on football, about football across the UK. And in the comments were people saying like, hey, what size shoes do you wear? Hey, would you mind showing your feet while you're talking about football? And so this felt really bad, really weird. Anyway, here's Nam's shoe. And yeah, the back end here is much, much softer now. So,
I mean, it's not the same model, but
it is a different model. And here's Nam's other shoe.
these are both Toms.
Yeah, both Tom's brand. And again, it does move more nicely. So maybe that is. Maybe I've got to ruin this shoe and break it down and see what happens.
Yeah, this one was pretty stiff when I started.
Hey, Spracknell. Spracknell wears Tom just like you.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Good to know. I haven't done the Japanese shoe shopping adventure yet, because I honestly don't know if they have my size here. I really kind of doubt it. Now, there are big and tall stores here, but I don't know if that's big and tall for a Japanese person or big and tall for people like Resorty, so I'm not sure.
We do know somebody who's gonna go to Vietnam to get specialized suits made.
Yeah, this fellow is huge.
Is he taller than you are?
Oh, he's taller than I am by a decent amount. He is tall enough that when I look at him, I say, wow, that is a tall man. And I don't have this experience very often. He's got to be 6'7" or so.
He is Texan.
He is Texan, and he is just broad and large, and he is large in every way conceivable.
Yeah.
If I did not know he was an undergraduate student,
He's not.
he recently graduated.
Yes.
I met him as an undergraduate student.
Yeah.
If I did not know that, I would probably be physically intimidated by him. It would just be the kind of thing where I'd say, "Oh, I feel small in this moment. I never feel small." Yeah.
He is non-trad, so he's a little bit older than the average undergraduate student.
It is true. Exists, you also hate changing shoes. Your 6-year-old shoes are breaking. Yeah, seriously. I really like keeping the exact same shoes because they get comfortable. And even if they look pretty ratty, I don't exactly care. I just very much want them to not be changed. So I remember there was a time back in grad school where I had gotten a little extra money, a gift from my grandparents, maybe, I can't remember what. But I went to the shoe store and bought 3 pairs of the exact same kind of shoe and worked my way through them over the years. And I now wish I'd bought even more pairs of them because they were comfortable enough, and yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we got rid of a lot of my shoes, and I still have more shoes than I can regularly wear here.
I forgot about that. As a part of leaving the U.S. for Japan was going through all of our clothes and deciding which clothes we should keep and which we should get rid of. And we gave quite a few of them to like the local charity shop, and that was lovely. But seriously, you have to have had, I don't know, 50 pairs of shoes maybe? It was a really high...
50 is a lot.
It was definitely past 30. There were shoes for every occasion, every color. It was a little much.
I think it's also because I don't throw things out. Like, I don't wear through things very quickly, and then I don't throw them out.
So part of it is you do rotate your shoes regularly, and so that keeps them around longer. Where I'm someone who definitely puts them on once and then never takes them off again.
I definitely rotate them even twice a day.
Yeah, because you'll wear one pair of shoes to walk to work and then change into your at-work shoes. Then hopefully remember to change back, but often forget because you want to get out of there. But yeah.
Because I'm being distracted by somebody who wants to get out of there yesterday. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then halfway home, I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I think what it comes to is when I'm done teaching, I just want to go home, but I want to walk home with you very, very much. And unfortunately, the emails just keep coming in. So I think yesterday I was done teaching at 5:50 or so.
Well, and then we socialized.
We socialized a little bit. We got to your office about 6:15, 6:30. And then it was 7:15, 7:30.
Because I had a giant pile of emails.
And so I ended up stretching out on your couch and trying to fall asleep. So that was a nice way to spend my post-work hours, falling asleep on the provost couch. So nice. But yeah. Nam brings a gift today. For the second time this week, we're going to change the Fritz picture. I already put an old picture on, and this was a nice one. Fritz is staring and judging, I promise. Let me get this thing put away so you can see Fritz is staring in judgment.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh.
Staring into your soul.
Aristocat
all the way. But Noms is a picture from, I think, about a week ago maybe, that she took, and immediately we said, this one is for stream. My friends, behold Fritz in his natural habitat, trying to get all of the ice cream out of a small ice cream cup. Noms encourages this kind of thing. Noms will often give the food bowls after they're done. Largely, I think, to take pictures of him.
No, I mean, because when we're eating, he's always like, hello, what is that, hello?
Yeah, he doesn't jump on the table during eating time.
Yeah, not during
He'll sit on a chair and put his little head up. So, what's going on up here? Would you mind sharing your food? But he's very good about not, running at us and demanding more and more.
Not if we're at the dining table. If we're sitting on the sofa,
oh yeah,
he'll come over.
The sofa is fair game.
Yeah.
The sofa is not the formal eating area, and he's like, "Hey, we're hanging out. Let's have some food." And occasionally, some of us decide to give him some bread. Some of us decide to give him some ice cream, thereby encouraging the behavior. My goodness. Hey, Sundog, thank you for the generous resubscription. Chonky Boy Hype. I mean, he's lost some weight. This definitely does not fit into his diet. This is definitely extraneous.
But yeah, there's actually very little ice cream in there. It's after I've finished it, there's just a little bit around like the bottom
and it's
edge.
often like tiny bits of liquid.
Yeah,
because
it's dairy. I don't want to give them
exactly
too much
right.
dairy.
Yeah, cats and dairy are not necessarily the best bedfellows, and so
even though they like it so much,
they love it so much. It's true, but they're willing to look like an absolute circus beast for us. Fun stuff.
Yeah, I have some close-ups of that, but I thought that one was the funniest.
It's a great picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking good pictures of little Fritz there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have I ever purchased Fritz churu for Fritz? Yeah, churu is this Japanese thing. Or maybe is it Japanese?
I guess.
The name churu feels Japanese.
I've never seen it in the States.
Yeah, there's these long tubes. I guess we pull a picture, presumably. That is doable also. Churu. I don't have my Japanese character set on this computer, unfortunately. Churu cat. Yep,
right
there you go. It's from the Inaba Pet Food Corporation. Love that. Yeah. So here you can see the tubes. Here you can see feeding it to cats a la Lady and the Tramp. Very good. So these, I think, are primarily used for animals who are very young. Or animals who are unwell. After Sasha had her mouth surgery, this was supposed to feed her. But Sasha loved all the flavors of these so very much. And as she got older and stopped eating the solid food, this was pretty much all she ate for the last, 2 weeks of her life, maybe.
There is not much nutrition in them.
Yeah,
it's
mostly water.
Oh, see, they have them in America. You can get
I
it at
do.
Walmart.
At Walmart, the Inaba Churu. I think Fritz would love these. He's willing to eat just about everything, except for he doesn't like...
Chow, that's the brand we get. We get Chow brand.
Yeah, Chow brand sometimes also. What is the flavor he doesn't like that surprised us? It may have been whitebait mash. Something like that. These tiny little baby fish all smushed up together. He doesn't like that one so much, but...
He doesn't like any dried fish.
That's true. Dried fish, not a big fan.
Too crunchy.
Maybe as a non-ice cream option. I mean, yeah, Fritz likes normal cat treats. I believe that one of us, though, just likes to include him, doesn't want to leave him out. And with that said, the churu is on the far side of the room. The ice cream's right here in hand. Much easier to give the ice cream.
I don't think we have any churu left.
We can easily go buy some.
We only have, like, the little tiny weird treats.
That he doesn't like. Yeah. So there's a cat food store generally 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
We can walk there.
It's not a cat food store.
I mean, it's a pet store. It's a pet store generally. It's one of the pet stores that does not have dogs and cats for sale. I tend to be a little weirded out by those here in Japan because I've heard such terrible things.
I mean, they do have rodents for sale.
They have rodents, they have lizards.
Yeah. And they have grooming.
Yeah, and I don't know. Though I think these things can probably suffer, I think they're probably cooler in the smaller cages where the little kitty's just sitting there in completely empty windows. I don't feel great about. Yeah, it's not like Petco. I should take photos. It's a very small...
I think it's like a small Petco.
That's a good way of talking about it.
It's a very small Petco.
It's a corporate place. You'd see many of them across Tokyo, but they are very, very small by comparison.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. So it feels like a neighborhood shop, even though it's part of a corporate megalith.
Everything in Tokyo is smaller.
That's true. That's great.
Even our grocery store. Yes. We saw the video of Paolo recently where he was like, oh, check out this Japanese grocery store. And we looked at it, we're like, that is not our grocery store at all.
Yeah, so there are grocery stores that are out in the suburbs that are similar in size to U.S. ones, or to any place that has lots of cars. But here in town, there are a lot of much smaller grocery stores where you can pick up things that are about a basket's worth. They do have some very small push carts for older people. But these push carts don't have built-in baskets. Instead, you take a normal carried basket and put it onto the little cart and then push it about.
Yeah.
And so you're not meant to buy a bunch of stuff there, but that's how it goes.
The one he was at was like a large, but it was in town though.
It was actually inside of Tokyo.
Yeah, it was. It was in central Tokyo, but it might have been that it might have been one of those areas that are more expat-y with more cars.
Yes, the areas I hate so very much.
Yeah.
Expat area is not for me. Too many cars, too much noise. Ugh.
Yeah, remember when
People wearing tennis shoes.
what was it? Yesterday when I was being Godzilla, you asked me to go out and destroy another sector of town.
Yeah, I think Godzilla should go destroy sectors of town. Yep.
Yeah, like you were happy with Ginza being destroyed.
Oh, very happy with Ginza being destroyed. That's a big fancy area with Louis Vuitton and so on. Not for me.
Yeah,
Yep.
is that what's next?
I don't know.
Roppongi?
Yeah, we'll see. Any place where the Americans gather and have their loud conversations, I hope Godzilla destroys them very, very soon. Absolutely. So, Noms, what else you got going? What's happened this past week?
I'm really not sure.
Oh, I missed it. Donate People Guy. HPG, I apologize for my lack of noticing. Thank you for the $10 tip.
Oh.
Super generous of you. For the cat food store fund. All right, I will attempt to take a picture of the cat food store. It's a small place, and as I mentioned previously, the camera iPhone camera goes click click, and everyone knows what I've done. But we'll try to do that for y'all.
Oh, okay.
So HPG, thank you for the generosity all the way, my friend.
There.
Yeah. So tips happen up here, which is perfect vision all the way. So super generous of you, my friend. Thank you for enjoying our community as you do and being part of it and being a good part. Noms now has her head down on the desk, taking a little nap. I sometimes wondered if you were a streamer yourself, Noms. If you were someone who was actively engaging with chat, and if you didn't, no one would. Would you still fall asleep on stream?
No.
Why not? That used to be disallowed. It used to be the case you could not be asleep on stream.
It's like dead air, yeah. It's kind of... It seems like bad content, man.
Actually, now there's an entire area of Twitch where people are allowed to sleep.
Yeah.
And you can watch someone who's asleep.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I'm not sure if it's creepy. I mean, it could be creepy, but I think it's for a lot of people, it's a way of encouraging themselves to be relaxed.
Yeah. It's like a communal hanging out and sleeping, chilling out time. I can understand that. I don't think I would feel comfortable falling asleep with people watching it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I have no interest in it at all, and I just don't quite get it, but if you're into it, you're into it. Hello, Axix. How's it going? Hello, Gary. Hello, everybody.
It's also a nice opportunity for me to stretch the back of my neck.
That's good. So
because of my height, I have to look up like this.
Yeah, I get that. Should I have an extra monitor just for you, Nom, so you can look down a little bit in that appropriate ergonomic way?
No.
Okay. I actually don't recall if ergonomic science encourages to look up slightly or down slightly. I think it's up slightly. Unfortunately, our table is raised to its maximum height here, and so I've got to look down slightly. Not good for the old neck. Nom decided to wear her hair as a mustache. These things I can never do.
I mean, you could.
I could just grow a mustache. We're good, thank you. Okay.
Would you like to wear my hair as a mustache?
Not right now, no. Thank you for the generosity, though. It's very kind of you. What I was going to say, though, is today we're going to play one last day of Rimworld for this particular portion of the playthrough. We will be back to it after a while, but I do want to take at least a week of something else in between, and so we'll see what we're going to play on Monday. There are a couple possibilities.
HPG made it funny.
What was HPG's funny?
It was nose trouble for her to...
You need to speak up if the microphone is supposed to hear you, the microphone.
No, this is a relaxing...
No relaxation allowed. Yeah, so HPG's joke was it's nose trouble for you to offer a mustache. Nose trouble. That's very good. I don't know. I've thought before about growing a mustache just for the jokes of it. The problem is I don't think I'd look good with a mustache. I think it'd end up going like standard hipster stash. Kind of like, duh. There's already one guy...
I was going to say, people are going to think you are trying to be like him.
Yeah, there's already one guy on campus who has that kind of mustache, and he is younger than I am and hipper than I am. And I do not think that growing a mustache will be a good way of competing with him, because it'll defeat me in all other categories. He is the king hipster. He has nicer jackets than I have. He has nicer, everything than I have.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know where he purchased his jackets. But they're nice. Managed to go to Vietnam to get these jackets because apparently it's cheaper in Vietnam. It's cheaper to get a plane flight to Vietnam.
Stay there for a few days.
Get a good suit, and come back than to get oneself a large person suit here in Tokyo. At least this person insists.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe that, but maybe.
I mean, exchange rates.
Yeah, exchange rates are pretty bad right now. So, have such a bad mustache that I make mustaches uncool on campus. I actually don't think he cares about being cool. He is very much just a I am who I am, doing what I am. He may do it intentionally though, but yeah.
I mean, anybody who has facial hair must be thinking about it because you have to shape it daily, right? Meaning, it is a conscious decision where and where not to shave.
I was about to say, the time I've had the most fully developed beard has also been the time I've been most fully depressed. And so it was just, it's going to go places, and I did not shape it even a little bit.
No, not like that. But I mean, if you have a mustache, clearly you're thinking about it.
Yeah, if you maintain the mustache, you then remove the area around it. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
It's a conscious choice.
Yeah.
My friend who we're going to have lunch with, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, he has like a beard, and he was like going like this. He's like, I like this. I went across the street over there to the barber, and they like shaped it and dyed it. I really like it.
Oh, they dyed it. See, he's so vain. Yeah, he's getting to the age where his hair's turning gray and he can't quite deal with it. So he dyes regularly.
I think it's very common here, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that said,
lots
though,
of men like dye their hair here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
All colors.
I'm cool with that, of course. People want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, he's funny to me in particular for a bunch of reasons. And part of it is he's lived in the U.S. long enough, and he's an academic, so I'd assume he might be cool with just letting it go how it goes. That said, he is a Japanese person who can grow a full beard.
Yeah.
And this is relatively unusual here.
So he's like, look upon this, everybody.
Absolutely. Many of you have full beards. I don't think we're ever going to start one of these, like, show me what you look like. You get to see me, now I want to see you. We'll never do that. But, yeah, I like knowing that many of you are bearded out there. It gives me a certain view of the community.
Yeah.
That is part of it. Yeah.
I think there was another rather large hipster mustache on campus, but it was a professor who is married to, like, a fashion designer. So
Yeah.
there's a pretty high bar there for the hipster stash on campus.
I mean, I'm married to you, and you have certain hipstery...
I'm not a fashion designer.
You're not a fashion designer, but you're a provost. That's fancy enough its way. But yeah, no, I'll probably maintain the clean-shaven thing. I said previously that anytime I'm not clean-shaven, I feel a little strange about it. Unless I'm really depressed, in which case I do not care about that or really much else. So...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember whether there are very many bearded people on campus. There aren't, actually.
Well, there aren't very many bearded people in Japan generally. It has a very different resonance here than in the U.S. In the U.S., it's an intentional fashion choice or like a sign of one being rough and tumble, possibly, where in Japan, I think it's seen as a kind of a failure to engage in basic hygiene. And many workplaces still have explicit rules against facial hair here. Like, ours is not. But
oh yeah, should I institute that rule?
Probably not. It's one of the. Can you imagine if you went to our librarian, the guy with the really nice mustache, and said, "I have changed the rules. Shave in front of me right now, or I'll fire you."
I can't fire him.
Yeah, he's a good librarian. He's absolutely wonderful, and the students love him. That's what really counts. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yesterday I overheard one of our faculty members telling him that the library has become a very fun place since he's come here.
Yeah. I think part of his tenure, thus far at least, has been make the library a space for things to happen, as opposed to just a place where the books live. And I think that's probably an increasingly common habit of librarians, because libraries are in some measure dying in a lot of places. With easy access to information through the internet, it's much less rare to say, I want to know this thing, let me go to the library where the knowledge lives.
Yeah.
And so he's instead, just trying to make the place have an image of being welcoming as something other than the study tables. So.
Yeah. He was telling me also about the other libraries nearby, like both the public libraries and the libraries that belong to other schools that are nearby, and how to use them. And he was like, maybe we could do like a tour of all the local libraries and offer that for students so that they can partly so that they know where all they can use their privileges.
Yeah. Because the university, we have certain agreements with other universities to have reciprocal lending and so on, which
and
I appreciate.
They can use them as study spaces as well.
That's true. That's true. And this is something that's somewhat different between the university here and ones I've been at previously. There are enough other universities nearby that it'd be worth going to their campuses to do something. When you're in the Midwest, you have to drive hours often to get to the next research university, especially, and it is not worth the drive.
At our last place, we had to drive hours to get to the next library.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, it's very strange stuff, but
yeah. I just realized our friend that we're meeting for lunch, maybe we should take him to the next college over library, because he asked me whether he had privileges there. And I realized I've never been there.
I would like to get lunch, and I believe
after lunch.
Maybe we'll see. It's Saturday. On Saturdays, all I really want to do is stay at home and read books.
You can read books in the library. they are at the library.
What do you mean?
You can even go there and borrow the books from the library.
What do you mean?
To read.
That said, the next nearest library is primarily Japanese.
I'm sure they have children's books.
I was about to say, if they have children's books, I can make a stab at it. Now that I've recently been working our way through, here's how to write the letters carefully and correctly. The kind of book that would be used by, I don't know, a preschooler possibly, or maybe a first grader.
Kindergartner.
Yeah.
First grader.
But it is a bit embarrassing, the level of writing skill we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I can read all the letters, and I can produce them if I go very, very, very slowly. But we're going through and following the dotted lines, and Japanese has an order of strokes always. But I think English does also, but we tend to kind of ignore it as long as the character looks correct or the letter looks right.
Yeah.
Here you're supposed to always follow the lines, even if you're not making very fancy letters. You'll still just follow the 3 lines or whatever, and we're learning those. That's good. That's good. Eventually, I'm sure we'll write love notes back and forth in Japanese and feel very proud of ourselves.
Yeah, I've technically learned up through 4th grade.
A long time ago, though.
When I was in 4th grade.
Reasonable.
So I technically learned that amount, but I thought we should take our friend there because and when we were talking about the other libraries, the public library that's nearby has a whole floor dedicated to children's stuff, and we thought, that might be really good for our students. They could go over and look at all of the available children's literature that they could look at. All the manga in the world.
It's true. And yeah, definitely for language learners outside of myself, it's good to have access to more and more Japanese text, so you can choose, maybe you're into airplanes, and so you can choose baby's first book about airplanes. Yeah. I still need to pick my special hobby for learning a Japanese. Disaster preparation really is it, but that's a little bit too much. Oh, that's not very nice. That's work, Noms. Do it on university time. This implies that Noms ever stops working. not only is Noms salaried, but she gets emails at 11 p.m. and it's time to respond. So, what happens if you do your strokes in the wrong order? You've offended the emperor somehow. You've made a major social error.
You get a on your worksheet. And you have to redo it.
Oh, I've not shown this yet. The Japanese method of grading. How do we refer to this in a way that doesn't give it away right away? Like, we just say Japanese paper marking grades, possibly? No, it's not here. Maybe leave the grades out. Eto ne. This is a very large version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do I get the image without getting everything else? Resorty. I closed the entire window. Hey, chat, you're on screen. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. All right, so I need a new one of these that is just Google.
I can tell you the Japanese word for it, but that might give it away Japanese speakers.
We can't have that. All right, one moment. Good. Okay. We had it and we lost it. So it was Japanese
you could put
grading marks.
Okay.
And then did I find it there? Paper grading, maybe it was? Oh, it was perfect. Well, let's give it away then. What do they refer to as again?
Hanamaru.
Hanamaru. And if you know what that means, it's delightful.
There it is.
So this This is how they mark that you've done things correctly. In the U.S., when you're...
Well, it's all correctly.
Okay, all correctly. In the U.S., you get a big check or maybe a check plus, this kind of thing. They draw this giant flower. And if you're wrong, they draw the bocce, the X of doom. But yeah, you get this big old curly Q flower.
Yeah, I got those when I was a kid.
But it's even done on college work. At least when you're learning Japanese.
I think it's because you're learning Japanese. It's like how I used to use stamps and stuff and stickers when I was teaching elementary Latin. Yeah.
Because it's like you're being teaching children again.
Yeah, kind of. I think it kind of makes it fun.
Yeah, I've considered doing this on my students, my Japanese students' papers especially, so they have a fun moment of being like a child, but I worry that may not be very nice. What's Hanamaru mean, Noms?
Well, it says right there, Hana Maru. Hana?
Encircled flower seal, equivalent of a gold star awarded to children for good work at school.
That's an interesting... Yeah,
that's how I say it. But Hana is a flower.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Maru means...
Mark.
Circle.
Circle. I have no idea.
Maru.
Oh, Maru. What's the word for square?
Shikaku?
Shikaku.
Shikaku. Yeah.
Shikaku.
Shikaku, as opposed to shikoku.
Oh, sure. It's like Chicago, but...
Shikaku, I think, means 4 angles. Shikaku. I think that's what it must mean. Shikaku.
Oh, boy. What's the word for 4 again? She. And what's the word for square?
Shikaku?
Shikaku. So they changed the words over, the sound over.
They didn't change it. Maybe I'm a sloppy speaker.
Yeah, no.
Well, have you ever actually heard English spoken by, like, I don't know if they do this in all jet, but by like jet ALTs, they speak in a way that is not English.
Yeah, so Japanese ALTs are the native English speakers that are brought over here, usually in their 20s, to be walking, talking English pronunciation bots for people who are learning English, children primarily, and they hyper pronounce. They break apart the syllables. Hyper enunciate is the word I wanted. In a way that helps the children to pick up all the different syllables. But it's in a way that when they go to pronounce it themselves, it is so syllable by syllable. Yeah, I'm so happy that we're not we do not talk that way with our Japanese students here. I couldn't, if I had to focus on enunciation, I could not teach. This is why my enunciation is so bad sometimes. I start speeding along, saying all the words. That's how it goes. Yeah,
all of the Japanese ships, for whatever reason, the Japanese ship names end with Maru. Because we were talking about the Ehime Maru yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't know why Japanese ships are called Maru. Now, the thing I've learned in my brief time here is that they're very often homophonic situations where one word means so many things that are so different. So the use of the Maru in the ship might be something entirely different than circle, but I don't know. Some kids learn from ALTs from Ireland. Yeah, there's strong preference in in Japan to have ALTs who are native Australians or Native Americans. When I say Native American, like people of America, not people who have lived in America before U.S., etc. But yeah, strong preference there. But then, yeah, the Irish...
Australians?
It's the most commonly heard accent here because of the proximity. But yeah, Ireland is used, the UK is used, but less frequently here.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say past that?
Maybe the Canadians can sneak in too then.
Yeah. Historically, one big issue, though, has been the way to prove that you're a native English speaker, you got to be white. So there was tremendous bias against Indian speakers or Indian natives of English. And then African Americans and so on were strongly dispreferred here.
I think that has probably changed.
It began to change.
We know a number of Jets that are people of color.
Absolutely right.
Or former Jets that are people of color.
I'm glad they're actually using one's capacity to speak English as opposed to what one looks like to judge these things. Yeah. But that's a job I hope I never have because it sounds incredibly not like teaching.
Yeah, I think you have to probably contextualize like what you are there for.
Yeah,
you are not there to teach.
You are called an assistant language teacher, but the teacher will point to a word on the board, and you will then say it in American pronunciation or wherever you're from, your English pronunciation, because oftentimes the English teachers in Japan don't really speak English. They're able to point to the words on the board.
They understand the grammar.
Yeah, they get the grammar, and that's really what it is, especially in rural areas. There's a tremendous dearth of... What?
I started thinking about the foreign language teachers that you can hire in rural America. Is hard.
Exactly right. Yeah, if you want to learn, German in Nebraska, maybe it'd be difficult.
Yeah, French. Yeah.
Now, with that said, if you want to learn Czech, you are good to go. The giant Czech population in Nebraska.
Yeah.
But same kind of thing here. In the rural areas, getting English teachers is very, very challenging. Which is to say, maybe we should go teach English in the rural areas.
That'll be fine.
That'll be a little life out there.
It would be fine, except the school would have to be understanding of different pedagogy that is not the government-approved one.
Yeah, the government-approved one is so heavy on reading and writing, and it is very, very stepwise, didactic, like, in a really traditional kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's sad, and then it's also kind of cool to see so many adults who... buy all of like the little like getting better at English idioms books, and they're like studying them on the train.
Yeah. This is one difference between the U.S. and Japan, and probably many other places too, is the bookstores sections for learning languages are huge here. There are so many books in so many different languages, English predominantly. There are so many. Where I think in American bookstores, it tends to be a very small shelf for other languages. And this probably just speaks to the ways in which Americans are monolingual and are okay being monolingual because of the size of the country and so on.
I just remember that Kinokuniya might be having a book sale.
We do not need more books. I mean, I finished a couple books in the past week.
I finished a book.
Good job. Good job. I was just briefly thinking about if we went to the bookstore today, are there books I really want to buy I've read reviewed recently? The answer is yes. And so...
I mean, no, this is, I think, the sale when they put it all on the tables. and then you get to overhear guys trying to ineptly, incompetently pick up women by... like somehow talking about the books on the table, and that everybody else has to listen to it because this person is speaking too loudly because they're an English speaker in Japan.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it is a warehouse sale where their backlog, I think they have too many of for the past year, they put out at relatively cheap prices. But yeah, last year there was 2 guys. I think one was on a first date maybe, and the other one was just some random trying to pick up Japanese women. And both of their strategies were like, oh, I see you're reading this book. Let me explain everything I know about this book and related topics. And one guy got into economic theory and was just wrong, like just fundamentally wrong. And I considered engaging him on it, but he was having a good time hitting on the women. And I was somewhat surprised, but I guess now I think about it, not surprised that here in Japan, women are taught to be passive. And so the way in which you respond to someone who is hitting on you don't want to talk to is you just don't respond to them very much. But you don't tell them to go away. You don't say, ooh, no, thank you. But it's a weird dynamic that I don't like at all. Yeah. And this is a place where you and I differ. Like, I have this strong desire to tell pseudo-intellectuals that they're pseudo-intellectuals. Where I think that you just kind of ignore them and think it's funny in your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has happened at school too, where occasionally we will get American men who come over, and they kind of start hitting on some of our Japanese students. Our Japanese female students. And there is a cultural miscommunication that happens. And occasionally somebody has to intervene and tell little buddy that she's not interested. Yeah. And again, part of this is that Japanese women are socialized to not reject, because it's seen as a way of like destroying the person's reputation and confidence and face, as the word that's often used. But... I mean, I think Americans can have that too. Yes, I agree there is a similar socialization, but not to the same extreme way. Yeah.
The example that's always used here is that Japanese women are told not to resist if someone gropes them publicly. You let it happen and then you move on in your life. Where I think in the U.S. more so, people are taught like you scream out, you say no, that kind of thing. It's very, very sad, very, very sad. So. This is why I'm glad that I'm already married when coming to Japan. Otherwise, an American, who knows what I'd do?
Yeah. The other half of that is I think sometimes representatives of our school also tell some of our more Japanese socialized female students, like, tell him you're not interested.
Exactly right. Be more direct than the society expects you to be, because Americans will not pick up on hints. Where Japanese fellows have been told, like, if she is not enthusiastically responsive, then it probably means it's not working out. The Americans read this as, it's the chase.
Oh, she's just shy.
Exactly right. And I worry that some animes also encourage this.
Yeah.
The animes encourage the young men to be really, really forward in a way that isn't actually done here.
Yeah.
How it goes.
I don't know. Like, K-dramas are super popular here. I don't know.
Korean.
Yeah, I don't know if people are learning socialization from those. I don't know.
Probably. Anyway, I made some coffee. When the coffee is refilled, I will come back and we'll play some Rimworld, which means, Noms, for the next 3 minutes, it's all you, boss. Good luck. Have fun.
Please ask me questions. Please ask me questions. Let's see. What shall we talk about, y'all?
Talk about that. I told them about this on stream yesterday.
What?
Why did you just use the word y'all there? Explain.
So the word y'all. There's lots of reasons why I use y'all. I don't know if he means when I'm being kind of casual and folksy, I use y'all. That's one reason I use it. I'm not actually from the South. I've lived close to the South. But I'm also, as you know, a Latin teacher, which means that I teach you plural, but it's kind of unfun to say you plural, and it's kind of stilted. Nobody actually says you plural in public. So some people say you guys, but you guys is gendered. So I started saying y'all. And so now I use it all the time when I'm using the second person plural. I don't think it surprises my colleagues here who are not native English speakers or not Americans. I don't know. No one's told me anything about it. Maybe they think it's weird. Yes. Let's see. What questions have you asked? What is my... okay. 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 If Resorti is bribed by a student, does he have to report it to you? Yeah, probably. There's one person in between. So he doesn't technically, I guess, yes. But it may not come to me because there's a person in between. Who's my favorite rikishi? I don't know what that is. What is my favorite kind of paper for fountain pens? That's hard because I use an ink that is apparently fairly wet, so it takes a while to dry. That said, I have been using Stalogy notebooks as my planner, and it's a pretty good paper to go with that fountain pen. It sucks it up pretty quickly, but there's not much feathering. I do have fancier paper, like Tomoe River paper that Riz got me, but I've not used it because I don't think they're making new, or that's from the original stock that I don't think they make anymore, because I don't know, Tomoe River is there's not as much water or something. There's some supply problem. So I haven't used the Tomoe River paper, so I don't know how that works with inks. But yeah, one chronic issue that I've had with my fountain pens here is the drying time is very long, and then also conversely, especially my Lammies tend to dry up pretty quickly, but they have a lot of platinum preppies here, and you can get the whole stock of platinum preppies. Platinum Preppies are reusable, they're disposable fountain pens, but they're also reusable because you can just get a new ink cartridge and put them in. So here they have the full line of them, which means that they also have the Platinum Preppy highlighter, which means it's a highlighter that's refillable, which is amazing. I've never had one before in my life. So I'm a little excited about that. But what I like about the Platinum Preppies is that the cap is made in a way to reduce drying out of the ink, which is pretty slick for like a $3 like disposable fountain pen. Good stuff. Okay. Oh boy. What sections of the bookstore do I visit first? Clearance, obviously. I always I visit the bookstore kind of the same way that I eat, which is I like to take a survey of the whole thing first. And especially if there's a book that I like and there's only like 1 or 2 copies or something, I might pick it up and hold on to it. But I do then like to go from like not worst to best. I don't know. Maybe I like to look at the clearance ones first. And then I will work up to the ones where I might actually buy something. Let's see. Am I reading any good books? So I just finished Babel by R.F. Kuang, which is kind of like Harry Potter but anti-colonialist. So it's set in like the 1830s British Empire, and it talks about both words, translation, linguistics, and also it's got a little bit of fantasy, and it's about a fantasy alternate reality version of Oxford. So that's pretty fun. So I just finished that one. And then I started reading Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, but it sounds like a lot of podcasts I listen to, so I'm going to return that to the library. And then I have kind of started reading this other novel that Resorti says is like a very, very difficult novel, and because it depicts very awful human behavior, and I know nothing else about it because I've intentionally not read anything about it. But it's also like 800 pages long. But it was recommended to me by a work colleague who said that she was riveted by it and she couldn't put it down and she thought I would like it, so...
Yeah. So it's called A Little Life. It did win a bunch of prizes. It's very well regarded.
Won the Man Booker, or was
won Man Booker, I believe.
Yeah.
It's well regarded in its way, but it is, in my view, torture porn. And it is a very... It makes its point in the most aggressive way possible, and I refuse to read it in principle. So,
But you're the one who bought it. The reason we even have it is because you bought it.
I didn't buy it. It was on the giveaway free cart.
Oh.
And so I picked it up knowing it was a Man Booker prize, without knowing what it was about. And then I said, oh, wait, this is the one I read reviews of like 3 years ago. Oh, it's that one. And this one kind of sitting there. But yeah.
It has a very strange cover. I feel like so a lot of
We can pull it if you want to.
What?
We can pull up the cover if you want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Our copy of it has a very strange cover, and like what I like about Japanese books is that they all are about the same size. I think it's called tankobon. Yeah.
Fodor, I absolutely agree. The book is just mean to its queer characters. Absolutely. So the photo here is strange in what sense?
I don't know.
Exactly. The man is simultaneously experiencing violence and probably orgasming. That is the photo. And this is what you've chosen for yourself. This is what you're doing to yourself.
I don't know. The Rikishi is a sumo wrestler. I don't follow sumo at all. I don't know anything about it. But
good pivot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. But I guess we'll see. It's 800 pages.
We read a lot of long books in this family.
Yeah,
we like long books.
I'm on a kind of a long book kick, but I was also considering Lonesome Dove. I feel like I know what I'm getting with Lonesome Dove, but nobody has strongly recommended it to me.
Yeah, I would like you to read the book because you want to read a book. That's good. But I want you to, when you're done reading it, think, someone recommended this book to me, and then make lots of judgments of the person based on that recommendation.
I mean, the person has a master's in sociology. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
You could have a book club and discuss it. It'd be nice.
Yeah, she said she was absolutely riveted. Could not put it down.
the Japanese psyche, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, because she's not a faculty member, I didn't know that she had a master's in sociology, and like that's like where like I think she also has a master's in teaching English, because she was like, yeah, I was in graduate school in sociology, and then I realized there were like no jobs, so I pivoted. But because we don't have the bios for many of our staff persons up, like I don't know this, and it's not listed in like her HR portfolio thing when we go into like our HR stuff. And I think that's really like unfortunate, because I think a lot of people have a lot of interesting backstories that we don't get to know.
That's true.
Unless you specifically ask them, in which case it's a little rude. Like, well, do you have any graduate degrees you haven't told me about? And they'll say, no.
I mean, I think if you want to, you could ask, like, what's your story before this job? What's your story before you came here?
Yeah, it could.
And if they don't want to tell you, that's fine. They can say, like, oh, my story before I came here, I had breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, cool, I tried.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We do have a large number of people who have worked in the airline hospitality industry.
It is true.
It's kind of cool, but I think it's because they're all bilingual.
Yeah. And they often take their jobs incredibly seriously and do things more or less just right, which you have to do if you want to work on Japan Airlines, constantly walking through the cabin with your little brush with sticky paper on it and cleaning the floor.
Roller?
Yeah, roller brush, exactly.
Yeah.
And cleaning the floor over and over again of every single hair there. Yeah, the amount of in-flight cleaning that happens on Japanese airlines compared to American ones is ridiculous. I think usually the way it happens on American Airlines, and by that I mean American Airlines in general, not the company itself, it's an absolute war scene. Like everything is clean and put away, and then everyone gets on and throws things everywhere, and there's food and baby vomit. It's just an absolute mess of paper and blankets everywhere. And then we get off, and somehow it gets fixed. Where on jail, they're constantly cleaning. It's really nice.
Yeah, I feel like on American flights, U.S. flights, I feel like they're so often I have like opened my tray, or like what is that thing called?
Your fold-down tray?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've either opened my fold-down tray, or I've looked at one of the paper items that are in the little basket in front of me, and they are like smeared with food where there's like encrusted dried food and like little cookie bits on them.
It's true.
And that's just normal.
And part of it, I think, is the fast turnaround, right? It costs money to have the vehicle on the ground if they want to get it off again as fast as possible, and I think that's difficult to do if you also want to take a long time doing careful cleaning.
Yeah.
And as you said, we kind of just tolerate it.
Yeah, it might also be that we haven't been on domestic flights here. So maybe it's the case that domestic flights feel a little crustier.
Possibly.
Because, like, internationals, they do have a long turnaround time, right?
It's true.
So, but that said, we've been on, like, domestic trains.
Sure.
And they're really nice.
They're really quite... And
Nice
part of it
clean.
also is the culture here of cleaning up after yourself is much more fully ingrained than the U.S. Like, though it's generally thought that, yes, you should clean up by yourself, that mostly means just, like, taking the big stuff with you.
Yeah.
Or
hiding your trash.
That's true also.
Somewhere where people won't see it.
Yeah, the big example of this is the movie theater in the U.S. It's very common to, like, leave popcorn on the ground. Where here in Japan, if you drop a little bit, you pick it up. You made it, you fix it. And so people between the showings don't have to do a huge amount of cleaning. Where, again, in the U.S., I think theaters are often war scenes at the end.
Yeah. I went into one of the classrooms yesterday because I was going to have a meeting in it. There was a over half full cup of coffee sitting on the teacher's desk.
Whoops.
By the I don't know, computer station or something.
Yeah.
There was like attendance sheets and other garbaggio left behind. And then there was like in the student seating area, there were like bottles of coffee and
If only there was someone whose job is to discipline the faculty. If only someone had that job. Cliche, thank you for the ongoing subscription. You went to a USA versus Japan soccer match. The Japanese fans cleaned up a part of the stadium at the end. Yeah, this is very common. You often will also see that the Japanese sports teams, even at the international level, will clean up their locker rooms afterwards, and will often leave a little note of appreciation for the hospitality of where they're staying inside the locker room, where most other teams say that's someone's job to clean this place up, so we leave our things everywhere. But it's something I like about Japan. As I'm someone who tries very hard not to make a mess outside of the house. If I didn't say that, Noms would immediately pick up the trash I have on the table here. But outside of the house, I try not to leave things behind. It feels pretty good to be part of the community.
That reminded me of how a few schools ago, I was told that's someone's job. So you shouldn't clean it up because that's someone else's job and you don't want to take their job away.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of a conversation we had yesterday where you were like, we should unionize.
It's true. I went to a faculty meeting and
It wasn't a faculty meeting.
Sorry, it was a faculty social. And one of the professors said he was not going to be paid for work he was doing until well after it was done. And I said...
No, well, it was underway, not done.
Yeah, he's doing the work right now, but not being paid for it until well after the fact. And I said directly, like, this is wage theft. We should unionize. And another administrator who was there turned to me and said, don't you talk that way. And I considered talking that way even more at that point. So, I mean, Japan has incredibly strong worker protections already. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, they're allowed to have unions. And unionized workplaces are awesome because, like in Germany, a member of the union gets to sit on the board of directors for the school and immediately and explicitly advocate for workers' rights. And I would be happy to take that position every day of the week. Absolutely.
That of being that person, or take that position like
argumentatively?
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I was like, well, what if it's in Japanese?
Well, let's say first, I'm happy to take both positions. Also, I know the board meetings are held in English because they include people who do not speak Japanese terribly well. So, yeah, no, absolutely. Fight the power, fight the man, fight this one right here. That's how it goes. There's natural opposition between... natural opposition between the worker and the boss. I'm all about it, absolutely. One last story. We're an hour and a half into talking time. We should probably say some video games soon.
Sorry for those of you who are in here for the Rimworld directory.
I guarantee there are plenty of people looking at the Rimworld directory and saying, this is not Rimworld, skip! That's just
They're
fine.
like, well, we could raid this one, but that's not Rimworld.
Absolutely right. And that's fine. That's fine. So last story. As many of you know, I do not have a attendance policy. I do not require students to come to class for a grade. They're usually there anyway. But the biggest...
They love the Resorty show.
Well, they also recognize they need to be there to learn things, because eventually they will be evaluated. But yeah, we have a good time, etc. It's good to have a good time. But with that said, early in the semester, students don't get the message on this, or they think I'm joking. And so they send me emails saying, I'm so sorry I missed class, professor. You know, I was a little under the weather, etc. Please forgive me, etc., etc. You know, this kind of thing. What can I do to make up my misdeed? Fine. Yesterday evening, I got one of these, and the student said, Professor, I am so sorry for missing your class. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I have a major infection and had a treatment today that involved me being anesthetized during your class. I'm so sorry. What can I do? Etc., etc. And it was one of these moments of not just, I have no attendance policy, no worries, but also any professor who responded to, you were anesthetized for an infection with a shame on you, student, is a bad person. So it was just a weird one.
I will say that we've been seeing more and more interesting rationales for being absent.
What kind of rationales for being absent? They're interesting.
Like, you know, well, I this also happened when I was in the States. Actually, was like really explicit descriptions of why they were absent.
Yeah, so not just I'm not feeling well, I'm ill today, but listing out the symptoms as gross as they may well be.
Yeah, it's a little overkill.
Absolutely.
And then speaking of overkill, like lots of ill relatives who all of a sudden are very near and dear to you.
Yeah, and I think it's always been the case that my grandma's ill, my grandma's died as a college excuse. That's fine, whatever. Absolutely right. Jerry, you gotta, here's the schedule for my surgery for a class. Exactly right. And like, on the one hand, I understand they want to justify themselves. That's fine. But it just feels like these kind of things are automatically and obviously justified. So the idea of apologizing is very strange to me.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. Yeah, if it's like a scheduled surgery, if they tell us beforehand.
Sure.
One of my faculty members yesterday said, "Hey, I heard that we don't take attendance during."
May I cut in briefly? Friends, an ad break is coming. We'll be there for 3 minutes, and then I swear we'll play some video games today. I promise. Hello to Grobzilla. How's it going, my friend? Noms, back to your story.
Oh yeah. One of the faculty members said to me yesterday, "Is it true that we don't take attendance during the first week?" I said, "What?" And he said, "Well, apparently a student said to me that we don't take attendance during the first week, and I didn't know if that was true." And I said, "No, you take attendance if you, yes, like it's your attendance policy. It's possible that I know some professors do not take attendance during the first week because the
People are adding
class
and dropping.
roster is fluctuating so much, but you can do whatever you want." And I said, for example, in my class, if you're on the roster and you're missing Monday, that's an absence. If you're missing Wednesday, that's an absence.
Sure enough.
But let's say you add on Wednesday, then Friday, or if you add on Thursday, I guess then Friday is your first absentable day.
Sure.
But yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of crazy how like these weird
Yeah, they're folk policies.
yeah.
Or they're kind of policies that either one person made up and they propagate, or they seem plausible enough and so they propagate. But yeah, I mean, kids say the darndest things. And they maybe hear, for example, oh, one professor doesn't do this, and they then assume there's a policy of not doing it instead.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm like, do I need to send out an all faculty email?
I think you should mention in passing at next faculty meeting. But
yeah.
So who knows, but
Yeah, Alyssa, though, the thing about somebody like falling off a roof or like needing to, at some schools that's actually an accommodation. Like you can get a ADA accommodation for stuff like that, a temporary accommodation.
Because you are temporarily disabled.
Yeah, exactly.
You're absolutely
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's the case that some professors, maybe some teachers in lower grades, have instilled such a fear of the students. We talked about this yesterday. This sort of like Protestant work ethic applied to school, where anything that caused you to miss school is actually a moral failing on your part. And so from a very young age, I think many students are told that you must be in class. If you do not do so, you have screwed up somehow. And so this continues on into college, where there's a sense of, I must justify everything. This is very similar to the first day of class. Even this term, I had a student, raise her hand, say, "May I go to the restroom?"
Oh, yeah.
And it's very common in high school to need to have that kind of pass experience. But my response is always, look, you're an adult, just go. And that's true for anybody. If you don't want to be in the classroom, like, go away. It's cool. Live your life. But I think for some of them, they've been taught that either the teacher has control over your body right now, you must have approved to go to the bathroom, or it's rude to just leave. And especially for like biological human needs, fine, whatever.
Well, I think the interesting thing is, like, when you get to college, there are very few all school rules, right? A lot of it is dependent on the instructor. So some instructors do try to exercise control over student bodies, right?
I mean,
Like, you cannot leave my classroom. If you leave my classroom, if you don't come back within a certain number of minutes, I'm gonna lock you out. Or you can't look at your phone. You can't look at your computer.
Well,
right?
I understand, people shouldn't be on social media during class because it's disruptive to the other students around them, et cetera, et cetera. The idea of someone locking someone down and saying, you may not go to the bathroom in my class, it just feels cruel. And so occasionally you'll have faculty members give little standalone talks on research and pedagogy, this kind of thing. I will happily give a presentation on the moral monstrosity of not allowing people to leave the classroom for bathroom. Absolutely. Exactly. Exist will come shame people also. I am 100% ready to shame anyone on this one. There are lots of places I'll say, you have a different pedagogy than I do? Cool. I'm sure it works for your students. I'm sure it works for you. Awesome. This kind of thing, though, is, I think, abominable. Like the snowman. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the rationale I have heard is this class, this is usually in the States, right? This class is only 50 minutes long. Why didn't you go before class? But sometimes it's like I have classes back to back, or I had to do something else, or I was talking to the teacher, or, you know.
I mean, yeah. Has there ever been a time when you notice quite suddenly you have to use the bathroom, and like it
Yes.
was not planned for? Absolutely
Yes.
right. And you know, I think it raises such a unfortunate tension then, because you're trying to focus on class, but oh God, got to use the bathroom.
The math room.
The math room. Yes, that's right. From the math room to the bathroom, and I think it's just a degradation of the humanity of the situation, and that's monstrous, especially for college, the place where you say like
Yeah.
we're all adults here,
Yeah.
you know, live your life, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's also a FERPA violation.
Sure.
Because only if only some students get to leave the classroom, then you know who those some students are.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yeah, the attempt to not call out the people who need or want accessibility options, especially, is pretty often. Pretty often. Sorry, pretty awful rather. So, yeah, I don't get too worked up about too many things this much, but I think anything that's degrading of the student's humanity, I do. So I think like there's explicit rules about prisons and accessibility to bathrooms, and it is one of those like really basic human rights kind of issues, like refusing someone the ability to use the bathroom to the point that they might, you know, wet themselves or defecate on themselves is horrible. Oh, all right.
Well, then they should have worn their space pants.
They
to
should have
work.
worn their diapers.
Yeah. Dogberry says that in their region of the U.S., there's a lot of closures due to illness, and I think we've been noticing that here too. Like
A lot of faculty are ill right now.
yeah, and presumably a lot of students are missing classes.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah.
No.
Someone said that like over the course of a week, like 20% of their students were either dropped, or were absent due to illness. So there was just like 20% of the class fluctuated.
I've not gotten very lucky on that. I've had a few students miss, but almost no one so far. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, are we all talked out? Or do I have one more story? One more topic?
What's one more time? Do you have one?
No.
Okay, I thought you had something.
I'm basically talked out. I mean, we can bring up anything you want to. We can complain about faculty more often. I always enjoy that. So, also, you had a student who's afraid you'd forbid them from having a continuous glucose monitor out during a test. Yeah. I mean, the student who is worried about failing for reasons that are medically related.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
So, yep. Hey, Vera, how you doing today?
Some people have glucose monitors on their children, so they can monitor their child's glucose level.
Do you mean people who are diabetic? Or...
Yeah. The children are diabetic, and then their parents are not there, and then so they can monitor
Like on their cell phone?
Yeah, on their cell phone.
Little Timmy, have a Snickers bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because it's medically related, I don't mind that as much as other kind of child tracking devices.
I think it makes sense, especially if your child is young.
Sure.
But imagine if your child is at college and you're like, checking their glucose.
Yeah. I mean, as I said previously, the shift from high school to college, from moving away from the house, is so different now with always on, easily connected media, FaceTime, this kind of thing, where it took some real work when I was a student to get in touch with people back home. So, yeah, I could easily imagine our students, you know, having the parents keep an eye on them even into their 20s. Yeah.
I haven't seen the glucose monitors that became quite popular in the US. That's like a shoulder, like it's a hunk of plastic or something on the shoulder, and maybe there's a waist belt, and so that as soon as it notices that you're low, it automatically gives you more insulin.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, they became pretty prevalent in the States our last few years there.
Yeah, I don't know this at all.
Yeah.
The United States health stuff, fun stuff. I saw this morning the state of North Carolina will no longer be giving state-level subsidies or insurance payments for that weight loss drug. Ozempic, yeah. Apparently too many people were going for it at once and it cost the state way too much. North Carolina, friends. There we go. Anyway, off we go.
Is it possible that there are more overweight people in North Carolina?
Draw your own conclusions. I mean, generally speaking, the U.S. South does have more obesity, but I have no idea.
Would they rather pay for other possible things that happen down the road?
I mean, this is a big topic, but yeah, the moralization of obesity, I think, is part of it. In the same way that, you know, when people drink their kidneys away, they drop much farther down the list of organ transplants. Whereas someone who loses their kidney honestly doesn't have the same kind of negation usually on the donor list. But yeah. Again, big topic, the moralization of diseases and disorders, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say go away now. So
nobody in North Carolina can get it
no
now?
state workers or those on state level insurance. So I don't know exactly what it means, but certainly any employees of the state.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have a lot of people quit now?
I have no idea. Serene, it's good to see you. Hello. And yeah, happy video games.
Okay.
All right, Nom, thank you for being here. It was nice having an opening chat with you. Saturdays are surely the best day of our week. Okay. Nom's doing the thing where she refuses to leave, so
I want to see pretty pictures.
I will now lower the... You want to see pretty pictures while we're playing Rimworld? Rimworld is not a game of pretty pictures, but we try our best anyway. Let's get that game up over here. All right, and we're going to load our game. We're going to play our game. Friends, this is our 5th, I believe, base in the playthrough. Maybe our 4th base. I think it's the 5th base. And yeah, I'm very pleased with how it's going. The base is largely stable, largely set up. And what I'm intending to do for the rest of today's playthrough is get ourselves ready to leave this place and head on to our next location. As I mentioned in the intro, today's probably the last day of Rimworld for a little bit. We'll come back to it in a couple of weeks probably. Just the endless cycle of building a base, abandoning a base, building a base, abandoning a base is getting a little bit much for me. So we'll hold off on that. One of the important things in Rimworld, as you know, is engaging in diplomacy, is speaking to other people and ensuring that they are willing to engage in tax treaties with you. The ideal level to have your tax treaty set at is 2%. If you put it higher than that, of course, the malice on people's... Usually I talk about diplomacy, Nom's going away, but not today apparently. Alright, there's no diplomacy game.
I was looking for where that indicator was.
No.
What are these?
What are these? These are half-built traps. They're traps that I've promised to make eventually, and they've just started making them.
They looked like snakes. I was like, are there snakes in that area?
There are snakes in the game, but that's how it goes. So I've shown the game Superliminal to Noms. I have not yet shown you that game, in part because I know Noms doesn't want to stream until the semester's over. So we're going to, yeah, we're definitely going to hold off on that. So I may play Superliminal myself instead. Though it is a game similar to Portal. I think Nom, you enjoyed Portal a decent amount, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Game Merchant, you did a crash landing mod. It left a bloody mess, 70% of the map on fire.
Oh, no.
Yeah, luckily with the desert, fire doesn't happen too much. That said, there's some tidiness not happening here. Someone spilled all the ketchup, so we'll see. All right, I'm going to turn the game back on again. We'll get going. We noticed just now that our main turbine, our main power producer, is one that is currently broken. So we'll invite little Timmy, who's already on the way to do it. We don't even need to request it. What a good guy. With that done, it's time for us to begin thinking about making packaged survival meals again. And one second. Why? Oh, it's simple meals. We actually are going to stop making so many simple meals, and the reason for that is we're now making the fine meals instead. So these will be emergency backup simple meals just in case. And with that done, assuming there's actual food, we're going to say begin making all the packed survival meals. We want to decide where we're heading out after we're done at this place. Our next trip forward. And I think I said we're not going to take the boats. Or maybe we will. I can't quite decide. Part of me is thinking, let's go from here across through the water into the jungle, and then another big cross. Is this temperate forest? It's jungle also, actually. Jungaroo along the way. So we could go all the way down around to here. How long would that take us to do? So we'll assume we're taking all the boats together from here to here. It'll take 9.2 days. Our last trip across was 20-some days, 22 maybe. So that is definitely doable. Now with 9.2 here is with completely empty boats, moving at top speed. As we load them up, they'll definitely go a little bit slower.
What about Bringa Isle?
Bringa Isle, we could stop there. Bringa Isle is also a rainforest.
Can you own all of Bringa Isle?
So the word own is a strange thing in this game. You really don't own anything.
I mean, take over?
So one problem with that is you're only allowed to have bases that are not immediately touching each other. So you have a base here and then a base here, but then we couldn't take any of those over. But yeah, you could have a base across the vast majority of those things.
But where would your resources come from?
So each tile has some resources, and traders will somehow find you anyway. I don't know if the traders have boats or what. But Noms, are you voting that we should go?
No.
I mean, I'd be fine with it.
No.
The Emu Hipster Bog also we could go to. I want to say emu so badly, but every time I do, the Australians correct me. So I'm learning emu is what one says. Let's go to the Isle. I think the Isle would be a fun place to go to next. So we'll save up enough money and food and such to handle that trip there. And once again, we'll be living with no one else. We've not had a trade caravan in a very, very long time because we keep staying away from those folks. But that is the goal. 10 or so days of food needed. We'll probably say up to 20 days just so we have some when we arrive. And then we need a place to put all of our packaged survival meals. I'll make a new...
My feet are cold.
Goodbye, Noms. Thank you for being here. We'll see ya. I'll be ending at noon today, so... in just an hour and a half, we'll be saying goodbye today. We did spend the majority of today's stream chatting with Noms, but that's a fun way to pass time too. So this will be just for packaged survival meals, and we just want tons of them as always. Now, last time we pivoted into making packaged survival meals, the game fell apart very, very, very quickly. We survived it, but it was not good by any means. So hopefully we can have a better leaving the base phase than previously. Now, if we're to make additional packed survival meals, we have to have both meat and also corn and such, veggies. We ended up killing a whole horde, or herd, I suppose, of rhinos earlier. So we have enough meat for right now. Veggies are the bigger issue. Glancing around, we notice the rice will be ready fairly soon. The potatoes down here after a while. And did I plant medicine? I did plant medicine right here. So we got lots of stuff we can do. What do we have set up down here? Little Timmy is attempting to go make pants. So actually, factually, I want to have little Timmy, who has no other work to do, instead craft instead of smithing. And the reason for that is we need to get more chem fuel. We also, more importantly, need to get more, what's the word for this? Get more blocks made for continuing to build out those traps in our fighting area and so on. The reason for fuel right now is it's being used to refuel all of our ships. They're each close to full. We need to make sure that each ship has additional fuel inside of it for when we head across the CCC once more. I'm going to say that this shelf here should not be using any packed survival meals. Instead, they'll just go on this one pile there. Hey, Dirk Ironfist, how's it going? Thank you for that subscription. I'm glad you're enjoying hanging out and watching some Rimworld, maybe. Noticing we don't have chairs on hardly any of our workstations, by which I mean absolutely none of them, so we gotta fix that. Earlier I was worried about wood amount because we were needing to make items that could only use wood. Now that we seem to have plenty of wood, and so I'm just gonna start making a bunch of chairs. These many chairs will give Timmy something to do and help him get some more construction XP, hopefully. This does raise the base value, of course, but that's okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, so recently Twitch made a big announcement, as they occasionally do, and this big announcement had a great part and a maybe not great part, we'll see. The great part is that any streamer, whether affiliate or partner, whatever, who has more than 100 partner points, one gets these for subscriptions primarily. A tier 1 is 1 point, a tier 2 is 3 points, a tier 3 is 6 points. If these add up to 100 stable points over 3 months, there's a change from getting a 50-50 split on the money that comes in via subscriptions to instead a 60-40 split in favor of the streamer. And so I want to say directly that we've hit that amount at least. And so because of that, I got a pay raise coming in May. So thank you very much for all you who subscribe. You're helping me to make more money. And while it is not the primary focus of the stream, it's a really, really nice thing. Now, the possibly less than good thing is there's been a change to how the Prime subscriptions work. So previously, every Prime subscription you got was worth round about $2.50 to the streamer. This has been changed to how much Prime costs in the location that the Prime sub is coming from. So in the United States, if a viewer's in the US and uses a Prime sub, you get $2.25 now, which is very close. If the viewer's in Turkey, a Prime subscription gives the streamer, drumroll, 9 cents. So I understand this. I understand this because the cost of Amazon Prime is much, much lower comparatively than it is in Turkey. But with that said, it is definitely a different thing to see the Prime sub and say, that might be 9 cents. But I appreciate it all the way anyway, but it's how it goes. It seems a bit angry ranting from streamers who want to block Prime subscriptions. Yeah, Twitch is really incentivizing the cash money subscriptions. There's an expectation that at some point Prime subs may go away, but also Prime subs don't count towards that Partner Plus program. But I appreciate them. They are very kind, very good, and useful to me. But Twitch wants more money as always, as always. We talked about last week that it's not currently profitable, and Daddy Jeff Bezos wants more money. So I'm totally cool, totally appreciative, but that's what's happening behind the scenes. Pay raise for Resorti. Thank you very much. All right, a psychic ship has landed nearby. Not on this map, but last map we had one of these. It had 5 enemies, of which 3 were Lancers and 2 were... 3 were Lancers, 2 were Lancers, 3 were Pikemen. There we go. So where is this psychic ship crash landing in our home? Hello? Did I misread this thing? I thought it said psychic ship on the way. A large piece of ancient ships crashed nearby. Your colonists feel it in the back of their mind, exerting unspeakable acts. Fine. This is all very standard. Things are terrible. Jump to location usually takes me to what's known as the location where it crashed. Okay, there it is. I was briefly very concerned that the event had bugged and it was hidden somewhere I couldn't get to, but we're good there for sure. Hello, Seiko. I'm having a good weekend. I hope you are also. Hello, Elena. What, me in alternate attire? Yeah, on my Saturdays, American Friday, it's casual day, and so I usually wear this shirt in particular, my Wrexham AFC footballing shirt, and yeah, unfortunately Wrexham's match is not till 3:45 a.m. on Tuesday morning here, but we'll deal with that. The enemies this time are again 2 Lancers and 3 Pikemen. This is not really a big deal for us, because all of our melee characters, and there are 3 of them, now have pretty strong armor, so it should be fine. You're watching Rimworld, or playing Rimworld also. Elena, awesome. I hope your Rimworld's going very, very well. And I'm always pleased when we come to Rimworld directory. A lot of old friends stop in. Those of you who are all Rimworld all the time viewers, I appreciate it a whole bunch, that people have loyalty to the games they play. I noticed just now that Cyber Oracle did not get their new gun, so we'll change it out. And then Kibbs here, once our Grenadier, the grenades have been broken, so Kibbs... I don't know, we should probably make new grenades for you. For now, though, the shotgun. Kibbs' overall manipulation is 57%. Kibbs has dementia. Kibbs is very unhappy at the world due to having body parts they don't want, but that's okay. Alright, Cyber Oracle join us. We'll get our troops in position here. What we're gonna do is, these are all more than one step away, so I'm gonna have each of my... Real quick. I was going to say, first of all, I'm going to have each of my meleeers on one of these. That's fine. There is something that has happened previously, and I don't remember exactly what causes it. We did some Rimworld science a ways back. So if the enemies are in sleep mode, and you're going to ignore them, then you can walk on top of them. They do not wake up. But, if there's a fire involved, and they put the fire out, I think it wakes up the enemies. There's some weirdness here that I could never quite diagnose. We're going to stay away from the fire for now. Oh, do we have EMP grenades for this? We do. We definitely do. That said, they're far away, and I'm not going to waste time getting them. Well, Cybercold's just now leaving. So we may still have EMP grenades, or they may have degraded in the water earlier. I think they degraded, unfortunately. So we'll just fight this thing fair and square straight away. Okay, so Jack, I'm going to put you on the back side here. And you'll fight that one. Polizia, you'll fight the one in the middle here. And as always, I want to be sure we do not accidentally shoot our people as they're meleeing. So you're going to stand here, actually. And Rog, you'll stand there. Okay. And we'll have our shooters destroy this one ASAPly from some kind of cover behind. I do appreciate they'll just sleep there and wait and wait and wait. Alright, so some kind of cover versus Lancer. We could send one of these folks in to do some meleeing instead, but I think we'll be okay. Alright, so is that in range? That definitely is. Alright, here we go. We wake up this one. Okay. So it is lancing. We do not like that very much. One thing we could have done, and we'll see how this works out ultimately, is we could have had Jack take on 2 at once. But does someone lose a body part? Hey, Timmy gets shot through the leg. No death. All fine. Another salvo, please. There we go. Alright, Timmy, you can just go home and take care of yourself. Your self-tending will give you... Do we have no herbal medicine? It's being grown right now. There is herbal medicine. So why are you not self-tending herbal medicine, little Timmy? Huh. Maybe you can't find it. Here, let me help you. Pick up that medicine. I should change my doctors so they're all carrying some medicine at once. And that will help them do a better job with this. And Kibbs' 3rd doctor, we really do not want to use them at all. I'll have him carry 1 just in case. Alright, number 2. Number 2. Please don't hit Jack, thank you. Mr. Science can't see it. Another one down. Well done, Jack. We'll take the Lancer on next. Please don't shoot Rog, thank you much. This is not non-friendly fireable. Another one down. All down, good job. Jack appears pretty beaten up, just bruised. Just bruised. Meleeers destroy this thing. You all go about your business. And we need to make a place to haul in the defeated mechs then. That was smooth. Thank you very much. As long as the groups are small enough that we can overwhelm them with meleeers, we're totally fine. It's when we get quite a large group or a group with their meleeers, things do change a little bit. But it's going okay so far. We want to get even better armor at some point, of course. Okay, so mech corpses will live here. And they'll get taken apart right here, I think. Yep, looks good. Almost done. Boom. Good. What? No AI core? And Timmy is still working her way home. Wow, slow going. Are weapons from mechs something that colonists can use? Unfortunately, recently, by which I mean like 3 years ago, they stopped being able to be used that way. One of the greatest things you used to be able to do was take melee weapons off of enemies. Like you cut their hands off and then use those hands as weapons. They were some of the best melee weapons in the entire game. But now the game's story is they're only able to use, or sorry, only like electrified machines can use their weapons. So the weapons just disappear when the bodies disappear. Sad story. Sad story. I'm sure there's some mod that adds in the old melee weapons. I think it was just too easy to get oneself a whole bunch of really strong melee weapons that way. Scyther blades in our memories. Ah, it's true. Good old Scyther blades. Who can say where the road goes? Where the road goes? Only time. I used to play that song anytime that that one of my basses fell apart. We put some Enya on and be very, very sad. But that song, unfortunately, is copywrote, and so it makes my audio go away and demonetize the video on YouTube, so can't have that. Okay. I keep getting this email from, slight mistake here. I keep getting this email from YouTube that says, Resorty, you can activate, like, subscriptions on YouTube. Get money now. People will subscribe to you. And the truth of it is, I wish I could make them stop sending this email, because I give people on YouTube absolutely nothing of value. They're just gonna watch me, and I don't respond to them. I'm a horrible person. I guess I could set up the subscription thing and then just hope no one actually uses it. But I don't know. I don't know. If you want to give me money, come to Twitch and do so. YouTube is confusing to me. Grubs, last I have coffee or tea tonight. All coffee all the time. All very, very tasty. There's still Thrumbo horns in the game. It's true, but Thrumbo horns require you to kill Thrumboy, and I refuse to do so. We got a heat wave going in a fairly warm biome anyway, so it's time to add some AC units. Also time to make sure we have cowboy hats so people can change out of their very warm helmets. So this room is good to go on cooling. We'll throw an AC unit into here also. And apparently we have no steel right now, because someone said we can use steel to make, I don't recall what. We'll see. Send them my PayPal tip jar link. Yeah, I don't know. The PayPal tip jar link is there if you want to use it, but I try not to make this thing about money too much. It just feels gross to me to do so. Alright, so Timmy is best constructor. He is moving relatively slowly due to being shot through the leg. Wait, you can't tip through PayPal because PayPal refused to admit you've never used it to sell guns. Did you mark a transaction as like, here are my guns, and you sent a picture of your biceps, and ever since then it's been pretty well convinced that you're selling firearms? This is very, very strange. Hey, Jim, it's good seeing you. Your wife and you are leaving a concert. You want to say hi. Jim, it's awesome seeing you. For you and for anyone who is not here in the intro today, let me show you the new Fritz picture. There he is in his natural habitat, trying to get all of the ice cream. Trying to get all of the ice cream out of a little bucket there, and he's not succeeding. His little head, or his big head is too big. Oh, poor Fritz, poor Fritz, poor Fritz. Oh, very good, very good. Remember to like and cite. I had a professor, I think he was joking, but I had a professor who would say in seminar, if you cite my work, he was pre-tenure. I had a professor who who was pre-tenure and needed to get his citations, who would say in seminar, if you cite me in a paper, I will buy you a case of beer. And at the time, I thought nothing was wrong with this. I said, I like beer, sure, why not? And then I wrote a paper arguing the professor was wrong about everything. Hey! That's actually true. I was feeling a little uppity, and so I actually wrote 2 papers that were arguing in large measure my professors were wrong. It was a good time. It was a good time. PayPal banned you for selling firearms, and you didn't have a single transaction in your account. That's very strange, Elistadel. Did he get me any beers? He did. Even though I argued against him, he still got his response. He got his citations, and so he bought me some beer. Absolutely, absolutely. No ethics issues there? Right you are. It's all above board. Don't you worry. Philosophy publication is not entirely built on bribery back and forth forever. What a weird profession I have. Very, very strange. Do we have cowboy hats going? We have 1 cowboy hat. So I want to kick the number of cowboy hats up quite a bit. Because again, part of the heat situation will be ameliorated by having the correct hat types. Also, little Timmy needs new clothes. He was shot through the leg, so probably his pants were damaged quite a bit. They were. And we currently have available 2 pants, so he should change it out. Unless he has them forced on. I'll change them eventually. If I go geothermal, I have to destroy the research room first. Yeah, absolutely. This base is not going geothermal. This base is leaving before too long, but it is right there, and we'll remember that as the time we built on top of a geyser. Good stuff, good stuff. Heat stroke on Cyber Oracle. You're the one going to make... Actually, you're wearing heavy armor. Heavy. So you're the one going to make the AC unit, but you really should change your clothes. I may have to change everyone's clothes by force. I know they prefer wearing armor if they can, but they should also prefer not burning to death, so we'll see what happens. What other rooms could use AC? With all the doors open, we should be okay across much of this. These rooms are fine, right? Holy cow! It's 51°C outside. Now, I don't know anything about Celsius. It's actually not true anymore. I know nothing about Celsius, but 50°C does not feel good to me. Our room is currently 20°C, which seems a lot better to me. Alright, so everyone's getting heat strokey with that. It is time to change out what people are allowed to wear. So we'll make a new outfit type that we're going to call firefighting, because we are fighting the heat. And we want to actually make it, not just click through. Or did I already make it somewhat? We have firefighting, good. Alright, so what's allowed to be worn with this? Cowboy hats. No armor allowed, ideally. We have to return these back off after the heat wave is done, or someone attacks us. You're allowed to wear any kind of normal clothing. You can wear lab coats if you want, but I believe that is the correct setup for this. And so people will immediately start stripping themselves, but I think naked is preferable over the heavy hats. Oh, if you want to do this, you have to make them get changed into that kind of clothing. I'll have them all strip right here. 39 inside. We can lower our AC units quite a bit. We'll need more power production to maintain that. But everyone goes on to the new firefighting clothing. All the way through. Clear those forced also. It's naked time! It's naked time! And Kib is still coming home. Strip there is fine. We need to suspend any kind of work that's not making clothing. So top tailor is Friend Jack. Friend Jack, get tailoring. Cowboy hat's most important now. Cowboy hats and dusters. Going to shred mechanoids. No, no, no. You're going to make more clothing. See you, Jim. Enjoy your sushi dinner. Hopefully it's delicious. Cyber Oracle is still heat strokey. I might force them to go stand in the freezer for a little bit, but we'll trust them. I'm going to go ahead and move all of the AC units down to, let's say, 15°C. I remember to change this back later. This one in the freezer is currently at 21 because no one ever put the freezer down to freezing. Good. We need to make more generators then to maintain the power. Lots of hats. Swell. These have to be made out of cloth. I actually don't recall how cloth works relative to leather here. So it gives 30% heat armor. I mean, not bad. Not bad. Wait, that's heat armor. Sorry, that's armor against fire. So insulation against heat is only 7 degrees. This is rhino leather, which gives 14 degrees, but quality halves that. Wait, material effect multiplier halves it. I don't know what that means. So the material gives 14 degrees, but it's half due to it being used as a hat, maybe? I'm honestly not sure what's happening there, but cool. Next one's being made out of rhino leather also. They're choosing rhino leather. Maybe that's best. I'm not sure. Timmy here is wearing one made out of Rhino leather also. So all rhino leather all the time, apparently. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. And Cyber Oracle is trying to build the generator also. Hero. Your heat stroke is still minor, I believe. Yes. Initial, even lower than minor. Okay, we're good. With temperature drop down to 15, we're down 23 inside, so a whole bunch better. Lynn, it makes you feel better for me to say I don't know anything about a Rimworld thing. Yeah, there are certain detailed elements of the game, things like the interaction of different kinds of cloth, for instance, that I understand in principle. Like, I know what generally goes into it, but I don't know the specifics at all. Likewise with what? There's something else I should know more about. How armor works. So armor has all of these percentages, like armor sharp, 115%. That seems unnecessary. But I believe it's because some weapons have armor penetration. And so I think it's the case that a 115 blocks the extra of the armor penetration, maybe. And you can read this if you want to, but reading text on screen, certainly not. No one enjoys old reading stream. I love it so much. I miss reading streams. They're the best streams. Also, our stockpile room is absolutely overloaded right now with things. So let me make one more shelf that will help somewhat. In the middle here. And over here also. Just endless hat making right now. We probably have enough hats now, so I'm going to go ahead and bump this back down to have just one of them. And I'll finish one more, and then we're going to be good. Alright, so no one is heat strokey now. That was handled well enough. Our freezer is refrigerated rather than being freezing, but it will change over after the heat wave's done. Refrigerated will still keep the food healthy for... Oh boy, never mind. Mere hours left on the rhino meat. So we're going to push this even lower and see if we can get down below 0. This is the part where one talks about making a second cooler or double thickening the walls. But it's only the heat wave that's making this necessary. So we're going to see a bunch of meat go bad. I can't necessarily fix it here, unfortunately. 16 hours, 13 hours. We're not with double thick. Goodbye, rhino meats. It was fun hunting you. I'm sure we got one of those cool hunter pictures in which we pose next to your poor body and we chop you apart. Where's the donate meat to the locals button? If only someone were visiting, I'd give them this as a gift, but instead, no. So having made the hats we really needed, I'm going to invite Cyber Oracle to focus instead on crafting, good, and Jack rather, back onto smithing and then crafting. Though I do see that we need more hauling and cleaning as always. We're going to connect this into the rest of the linked shelves. This one also. Hopefully they're all linked together now, yes? Only those 3 are. Well, once again, we'll link them all together and hope that works out. Already linked. Good stuff, good stuff. More pregnancies inside the box. That means more goats were born, yes? Goat doe number 1 and baby goat number 2. Alright, it is time to come up with more names in the Avenger show. So... what's the name of that lady? There's Captain Marvel. Is she explicitly an Avenger? Probably not, but she's in the movies at least. I shouldn't call her a lady. She's not a lady. She's a powerful warrior. Ant-Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Lady Marmalade. Yes. I like that we know the same kind of music. Hawkeye is already existing. The Black Widow. Okay, cool. Black Widow's a good one. Perfect. I think Spider-Man's that movie also. So next one will be Spider-Man. all these happy goats. Good old powerful warrior lady. That's right. She's both a lady and also a warrior. That's just fine. Oh, because these items don't stack, the various armor does not stack, and so we have way too much of it. There are ways to fix this, including making more shelves. And my beautiful storeroom is now not beautiful anymore. Just absolutely randomly thrown in. Like, oh, I love libraries that have these. This stack so close by, and then one has to use either a button to make them separate, or if you're an older library, you have to use this hand crank that causes the large shelves to come apart. My favorite thing about research libraries is being able to use that. Just now noticed that this room here does not have AC into it. The rhino meat is all going bad. Yeah. Sorry for wasting it. Kib's having a bad time. What's new? Things that largely cannot be fixed. Except for slept in the cold. Wait, where do you sleep? It's in the mid-20s. I need you to chill, or I suppose heat. Whatever you're gonna do, I need you to just settle down a little bit, boss. Just a little bit. Alright. We must deal with more wildlife. The ostrich, the emu, the fox, the iguana. We're up to 6 packaged survival meals. Also, no one's allowed to eat them anymore. Back to fine meals instead. Good. You have to yell moving the stacks, make sure someone 8 stacks down. The idea of being crushed between the stacks is, of course, not good. Nobody wants that. But I have had fantasies when there are very loud undergrads in the stacks screwing around of not saying anything and just push the buttons. But no, actually at my school you didn't yell things out. You would instead have to walk down and look. I think the rule of quiet in the library is more important than making sure people were not smushed. Which I realize is terrible. Heat wave's over. Okay. Not long with this time. We'll go back up to 21 in the common areas. And after a certain point, it doesn't matter how low you put the cooler. It's just fighting to get lower and lower. There's high power usage and normal power usage, and that's about it. So we'll go to low power usage. Fine. And was that all the common AC units? I believe it is. Area has been revealed. What did we discover? Behold, a hole in the middle there. I don't know why it's there, but it is there. Maybe there's some ancient treasure buried there. Our batteries are full again. We may not need the third one, especially with no heat wave going. Alright, we're healing up people who are just a little bruisey. Not a big deal. Everyone's fine. We made another shelf. There are still items on the floor, though, so more shields, more shields. When I say shields, I mean shelves. Also, an emu has decided to revenge against Timmy. Ever since Timmy became a good shooter, I've not been saving him on these. Timmy? Timmy, are you a good shooter? Timmy, are you gonna get ripped apart by a giant bird? How slowed is it? 53. Alright, Timmy, run! Timmy, run! You can do it! Oh, Timmy, you can't do it! So now that he's at distance, it can't catch up again. Kib, with your shotgun, you can help, I'm sure. Kib's actually hit. Kib's manipulation is hot trash, yet Kib managed to hit just once. Nicely slowed. Well, oh my goodness. Kibbs has only a 5 in shooting, and again is absolutely terrible of body, but hit a decent distance a few times. That's pretty great. Bit in the leg also. That's no good. His old gunshot here from a charged lance is 81% efficiency, so little Timmy will do a better job at moving if he has a replacement prosthetic leg, which gives 85% and removes the pain also. So let's go ahead and make a new leg for little Tim. Tiny Tim here. Oh, the other day we were discussing in class the relationship in fiction between wealth and moral goodness. And I asked the students, what stories from your cultures do you know about the relationship between wealth and moral goodness? And they couldn't come up with a single story in which a wealthy person is presented as being ultimately a good person, except for Batman and Iron Man. But they really want to talk about Scrooge. They want to talk about Scrooge so very, very much. And I don't know why I'm telling a story right now. It connected to something, but it was... yeah, it was one of those moments where the students really enjoyed talking about something I didn't think they'd enjoy talking about. It's mentioned in passing because early in the Republic, Socrates makes the claim it's easier to be a good person if you are wealthy. It takes away the care of the world, etc. Good call. The Buddha would be an example of that. Absolutely. Yeah, the Buddha gives up the life of privilege in order to find enlightenment. Very good. Okay, Tiny Tim. Thank you. That was the connection there. I mentioned Tiny Tim. Scrooge, all very good, Game Urchin. Thank you for helping me believe there actually are connections being made by head between things. I'm not just saying random words. Alright, Tiny Tim needs a new leg. That's a story. Speaking of which, we got a little revenge on the old ostrich. Timmy, run away! Oh, you've not hit it at all, have you? Or hit just once. Timmy's gonna get pecked to death. Also, my food is all going bad thanks to the heat wave, unfortunately. Cyber Oracle, Kibbs, let's save Timmy again. Excellent dodge, Timothy. Alright, Timothy's not going to get away. So it's time to stand and fight and maybe get pecked to death. Oh, someone got greedy. Someone believed that he could defeat an ostrich all by himself. He could not. How bad are you, Timmy? Dies in 4 hours! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! In the story of the Buddha, there's a subtext that wealth is an example of good karma. That's absolutely right. Yeah, much like the Puritans, wealth is a sign that God favors you or that you've done a good thing and been a good person and so on. But that is how it goes. What'd the emu do? Oh, little Timmy. He self-tended on the last one and immediately became infected. Well, little Timmy, it's been a good run, hasn't it? Mr. Science is coming to save you. Don't you worry. He's very far away. Comet, how is your medicine? It is not good. It's non-existent. Timmy will surely live. Timmy must live. Kibbs is allegedly a doctor, but not very good. Cyber Oracle is not a doctor at all. Mr. Science is coming, but slowly. Those prosthetic legs are not helping out too much. We could have someone else rescue Timmy closer to Mr. Science. Unfortunately, Cyber Oracle is next nearest. So, Mr. Science, you stand here. Cyber Oracle's movement speed is normal. Unnamed Comet's also normal. Alright, Cyber Oracle, we're just going to grab Timmy to rescue him, and we'll see how far we bring him before Mr. Science is here. He's attempting to rescue him into the base. We don't need that, though. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. You have medicine in your pocket, yeah? Good. The architect legs go vroom vroom. Yes, with what money is the real question here. We're going to dump into the sand. Now, will you rescue the medical bed, or are you rescuing him to the base? Medical bed, good. We're probably at 3 hours now. Every moment passing wasted. 3 hours. Now, is he going to tend the infection before the bleeds? I actually don't know order of tending here. Usually infection goes first, which I would not prefer in this case. Infection does not go first, thank goodness. With bruises, I believe the infection goes first. Intersecting between privilege and morality is fascinating. Yeah, I mean, the standard example of it being tough being poor is, why does Jean Valjean go to prison in Les Mis? Because he steals some bread to take care of his starving family. The theologian Thomas Aquinas argues that theft is generally a sin. You know, thou shalt not steal is one of the easy commandments to understand, but it is a moral duty to steal in cases where you've asked for charity and someone will not care for you. So you then steal bread. It is not sinful, but instead acceptable conduct. So there you go. There you go. In Home Alone, Kevin comes from a wealthy family and beats up on poor criminals. That's right. Instead, Kevin should share his excess. No one's sleeping in that house. He should invite them in to have a nap, not hit him in the head with paint cans. Hey, we have no finished food. All right. So we need to recruit a non-Mr. Science cook, Cyber Oracle. That's gonna be all you. Let's get cooking, please. What I thought about Robin Hood, I mean, so after Taylor, I don't know what to call her, a social commentator will call her, after Taylor has a really interesting read on Robin Hood as being a response to the enclosure, when the various rural powers said the areas that you've been using historically to sustain your families by hunting and fishing and so on now belong to the crown. It's only when that happens that Robin Hood speeds up and appears. The story begins being used more and more often. So I think her argument is under conditions of material insecurity, people are more willing to accept various versions of theft as being morally good, or at least non-problematic ethically. So how it goes. All right, Timmy is home safely now. Timmy had a very strong tend on herbal medicine. So we want to make sure Timmy stays in bed to get all healed up. And do we have industrial medicine? We do. So we're going to say that we go up on industrial tech medicine. Exactly, Alistair. Yeah, to save a life, the Jewish law may be broken. There's standard examples here of like on the Sabbath, you're not supposed to do lots of things in traditional Judaic conceptions. There we go. But when it comes like a donkey falls into a well and can't get out, then you're supposed to, go save that donkey. It's a more important commandment to save life rather than to keep holy the day, or it's a kind of holiness, I suppose. Little Timmy with second infection. Mr. Science, go care for little Timmy. Gotta keep him alive. During the Depression, bank robbers were seen as heroes. Yeah, I think that, is it Pretty Boy Floyd? Part of what he attempted to do when stealing from places was to destroy debt records also. And this, of course, is like the punchline of the Fight Club movie, is why does Tyler Durden want to blow up the buildings? This is because the buildings are full of debt records. And so Fight Club's in some measure, it's about a lot of things, but partially about debt slavery. Cool stuff. Timmy? Timmy's trying to get medicine himself. Though doctoring is a lower priority, I actually don't know how to tell little Timmy that he is not to do anything but stay in bed. The way to do it, of course, would be to say, this is a medical bed. Stay in bed. So Dr. Possible, I'm ignoring that question right now. If you want to put it on Discord, I'm happy to write about it. It just requires too much subtlety of thought to explain well, and explain things well. I do not do well on stream on harder topics. But yeah, if you see me not responding to your question, if it's like a potentially difficult question, I am intentionally ignoring it always. So there's something like, hey, Resorty, how are you today? That I do also ignore, but usually for reasons of I've too recently said, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. But yeah, morally difficult questions that might get heated or require like a lot of subtlety. Can't do it while gaming. And that's right, Rimworld is top priority. Fun does not matter, all that matters is the Rimworld. Cyber Oracle here. Cyber Oracle here, recreation deprived. Oh, possibly all the fighting consumed the recreation time. That said, thank you for ignoring my comments. At least I'm telling you that I'm ignoring your comments. It's not a matter of me refusing to acknowledge my misdeeds. No. I know full well what I'm doing. A bunch of people are at very low mood right now because I forced them to do work at a time when they wanted to sleep and such. That is fine, though. We're going the right direction. Friends, it's 11 a.m. my time. We got 1 hour stream left to go today. And it is the case that it's time for an ad break. We have the Friday crossword puzzle to do today. That's a very easy one, but I probably can't get it done on one ad break. But let's try. Let's see what we can do. Also, if you were here yesterday, thank you for helping me finish one more Monday puzzle. We only have one Monday hanging over my head right now. Professor, you never call on me? I know. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I have a classroom of very eager and smart Americans with a smaller number of very timid Japanese folks. And so the first question of class every single day, except for exam days, is what seemed most important last time? And I've told the students this is the easiest way to talk in the classroom, the easiest way to get participation points, is just say something that happened last time, and I can get from that to the recap point I need. And so often I'll say, so, what was the most important thing from last time? And the Americans will go, ooh! And I explain to them directly, let the people who are more timid have this question. And it's gotten to the point with this one student where I no longer say, hey, let's wait a little bit. I just go, I just wave him off in a way that is profoundly dismissive. But Brother Man needs to wait. Brother Man needs to wait for other people to have a shot first. That's how this goes. The reindeer in Frozen. Is that Olaf? Or is Olaf the snowman? I have no idea. Sloth for one. That's a sin. Wedding blank. A structure under which brides may kiss. This is Jewish wedding practice. It's a tent, maybe? It may be a tent. I'm not sure on that. There may be a Hebrew word for it. Piece of cake. Easy. Place to purchase platforms or pumps. The shoe store. TT looks really bad. Words say while raising one's glass. A toast. A toast, probably. Former White House Chief of Staff Klain, I do not know. Shirt often worn with high-waisted shorts. No idea. Person accused of acting in bad faith. So an apostate gives up one's faith. A heretic possibly also. I like that, but I do not know. Oh, wedding arch. It's not the Hebrew thing. It's just a very common white wooden thing often. Good. Not ungenerous person who stays out of the limelight. Not ungenerous person who stays out of the limelight. So a philanthropist who keeps it quiet. The ending is probably donor. I bet it's anonymous donor, maybe. Interestingly, the circles here are no. Do I want to go to rehab? I will say no. I sure do hope this whole thing is themed on that song. We'll see. Now, it is possible that I'm generalizing out too fast. From the no in the top one, they may all be different words. Let's see, though. A trident-shaped Greek letter. That is psi, I believe. Ouch. I have no idea. The down is abbreviation on a Manhattan-bound envelope. New York. So, yowie, possibly? Votes supports are yays. Pollution portmanteau is smog. And be present, show up. So yow is ouch. Flight Safety Agency is the Federal AV, nope. Nest Egg, the Transportation Security Agency. Also, 60s Campus Activist Org, the SDS. This is the kind of thing that we're going to age out of generally. People will not know what that is after a period, but Students for a Democratic Society, I believe. A chest muscle for short is one's pec. A soft mineral, probably talc. Water in Oaxaca. I still don't know how to say that word. It's agua, though. Diese meno tre. Siete, I believe. Divvies up. Apportions, possibly? What's the down? School groups are PTAs. Apportion's not going to fit here. Not sure. Not unpopular red wine. Pinot Noir. So for some reason, each one is not negation. So not unpopular, not ungenerous, etc. Oh, the not is the no, no, no. I'll blank directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. A Taylor Swift lyric. Oh, she gets me. I'll stare directly at the sun. How crudo is served. I have no idea what that is. So blank grievance is be errors grievance? Air a grievance. So probably raw then. A pet welfare group is the ASCA. Is that right? So it's Society Against Cruelty for Animals. ASPCA, usually. Trap. Ensnare? Which makes me think that this part might be wrong. Shirt often worn with high-waisted shorts is a crop top, which means that siete is misspelled possibly. SPCA, there we go. Ski resort machine that produces a not insignificant flurry. It's a snow... Let's say machine. What's it called, though? Mum's mum is the Nan. A snow cannon. That's great. Friends, I'm going to finish this one. If you're here only for Rimworld, I swear it's only a few more minutes. Don't you worry. Global culinary staple. I don't know. Rice? Meat? What's the down? Invitation initialism. RSVP. So I bet rice is right. 2013, in which a man falls in love with a virtual assistant. Her, I think. Like some flaws. Fatal. Not unlike a brat or a brat. A brat is a kind of sausage. Snot-nosed kid. Okavango Delta's continent. I assume it's Africa, though I'm not certain. Poet's output is a verse. Bedknobs and broomsticks setting. I think it's in Britain during World War I. Rowing team's a crew. Dorky folks are dweebs. So it's World War II, I guess. Every Story is a Love Story musical is Aida, I think. A role for Terry Garr in Young Frankenstein. Do they play Igor? Most likely. Digital book format is an I do not know. Topple is tip over. Is it an ePDF? Is that a thing? Experimental settings are labs. Oh, it's EPUB. Yeah. Books are an EPUB. Each is per. Blank of lies. Den of lies, possibly. I was thinking pack early. A split edge. Wait. Split end is much more common. Split ends, I prefer. And that lets Aida work. So she's not... Oh, she's Inga, isn't she? Inga is Terry Garr. Igor is some guy. A period before shootouts in NHL games, the overtimes. Grammatical faux pas seen in 4 of the puzzle's clues, and in a different way, their answers. They are double negatives. Actors whose film include Beasts of No Nation and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. No clue. German automaker with a lightning bolt logo. I know Mercedes-Benz, but I don't know past that. Modern lead into health, telehealth. Garlands with Charmin say. So Charmin is toilet papers. Garlands is a verb meaning to garland. This is toilet papering someone's home. Cautious is wary. To the down. Topping for dark chocolate truffles, perhaps. Something salt, maybe? Major export of Madagascar. Vanilla? Spanish for that. ASO. Sven. So sea salt goes on to dark chocolate truffles. Tight-fitting undergarments are corsets. Number represented as 1010 in binary is 10. A lot instead of portions. A lot. Gimme. I need it. Gradually break down is corrode. With intensity is acutely. Fledgling is, newbie, probably. So not a den of lies, but instead a... Not sure. Llama heads. We hate these so much. What are the llama heads? They're L's. Blank red. Blank red. A web of lies. Beat red. Hideaway is to stow. Site address is a URL. Branch of computer science that helps chatbots understand text. Probably natural language processing, NLP maybe. A bitter brew is an IPA. So something is wrong somewhere. All the boxes are full. Why are llama heads L's? They mean the word llama. So llama's head, its first portion, its top portion, is 2 letters L. We hate them. We hate them so much. They're referring to the word, not to the thing. Air a grievance, yeah. I'm guessing I've mistyped something. So, I'm pretty sure this is siete. So, diese is 10, minus tre is 7. But crop top, maybe it's not Spanish. So, ensnare could be ensnare. There we go. There we go. There we go. My apologies for accepting the wrong vowel there. There you go. All good, all good. Bad crossword. Yeah, occasionally you'll get a clue of the form tigers and lions. And you'll say, oh, those are cats. Those are cats, maybe. And then, no, tigers and lions are nouns. Because they are. It's just kind of dumb. But there you go. There you go. Hello, Fernanthus. Good seeing you. It was Italian, not Spanish. I always default to Spanish when I see that kind of word, but all good. All right. We got ourselves 40 minutes remaining. Let's finish out today's bit of fun. Current problem is that little Timmy has 2 infections going. One is ahead by 2 points. The other is ahead by quite a number of points, 30-some points. So we're going to be just fine there. And Mr. Science keeps it going. Because we're just fine, after that 10, I'm going to move back to herbal medicine. 100% 10. Yeah, so this one here we caught late, but he's still going to be just fine. Good job, Timmy. Good job. Okay, we are not seeing our pack survival meals. Video game? I didn't realize that fine restriction allowed pack survival meals also. They'd prefer to eat those over simple meals, apparently. Are they in your pockets? If so, give me them back. That person's very far away. I'm not going to dump on the ground there. They took them and they ran away with them. Alright, pull it, see ya, give me that back. Oh, it's so bad. We had, I think, 15 or so of them. So very early days, we're okay, but gotta work on that some. Caught that too late. Okay, do we have animals still? The rat's good. Last 2 emus that Timmy fought, he was caught out by. So I need to manually fight this most likely. And we're currently researching better guns. We're heading toward precision rifling, hopefully, one of these days. Rog is doing not a darn thing. Rog, what jobs do you normally do? You do the hauling. So does that mean there's no steel to haul? No, it means that the steel stockpile is totally full right now. We'll embiggen it a little bit to get some more brought in. Lots of cloth on the ground also. I probably don't want to regrow cloth. Let me turn this field over to just potatoes, I suppose. Instead of fertile ground, let's make rice instead. Good stuff. How seldom do animals escape from their pen? My sense is they can't do so unless they follow someone through the door. And that happens relatively infrequently for me, I think. Now, they've asked that. I'm thinking, did someone escape? Did someone escape? But yeah, if the door is held open, they'll run for it. If a wall gets blown up, they'll run for it. Going through the door, I think it can happen, but very, very irregularly. With that said, I'm actually not sure it can happen. It's possible it can't. Alright, so Rog, we're going to have you go do some hunting, my friend. That's Comet. Comet, we're going to do some hunting, my friend. Let's fight a bird again. 1 hit, very good. And your shooting is 17. Now, it is kind of late at night, but there's the revenge. Flee! We'll have Rog with sword come help. Oh, I stopped moving, unfortunately, so despite all my excellent work here, we missed anyway. Rog, chase it! Rog, save us! Oh, man. Man with sword misses. Good dodge, good dodge. These birds are far more dangerous than they were a bit ago. Well done, Rog. This is the advantage of doing melee hunting. Occasionally you win by a big, big way. Or by a big amount, rather. Are you eating potatoes? Oh. I put everyone to find meals. This is why they're not eating the simple meals anymore. They're eating raw potatoes rather than the food that I so lovingly made for them. Oh. Monstrous, monstrous, monstrous. Explains so much about why things are falling apart a little bit. Good stuff. No one's brought any stones in recently. I'm guessing all the ground's been made into blocks already. We'll mark some more. Speaking of hauling, how is Jack doing? Jack, my hauling cougar here, is doing the hauling. Good job, Jack. Now, Jack has no food currently, and there are no prey animals remaining. The only one is a pack of elephants that I will fight once Timmy is better. We need to give Jack some food, though. And so I think making a little bit of kibble and giving it to Jack would be good. By the way, am I meant to hover a little bit over the screen? Oh, am I flying? I've been flying for a while. Where I'm supposed to be is actually sitting on the shelf here. There we go. All better. Yeah, for some reason, the bottom of my camera is not quite showing up correctly. Like, it shows up like this empty space down there. I don't know why. But there we go. I'm sitting on the shelf. All better, all better. Though that since knobs moved me, frankly outrageous. Frankly outrageous. My wife ruins everything. No, not really. Wii U emergency. Timmy has been totally developed. Immunity. We got to 80 on 100. That's fine. The person who's wounded recently, unnamed comet, is still bleeding everywhere. You're supposed to. It healed up first. I took everyone off of patienting and bed resting earlier because we had an emergency. Unnamed comet, let's get you patienting, please. And bed resting, please. I have to force you to do it. I'm at number 1. They should go do so immediately. There you go. Let's move everyone back up to job 1 on each of these. We'll move them down if need be later. Science guy coming to heal him up. Stuff. Can't believe we wasted all of our food. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. I have set up to make only 4 at a time. We'll add below that if there's any possibility of making pack survival meals, do that forever also. Potatoes are almost ready. That'll be good. Welcome back, Robzilla. He had some Hayashi rice. Nice. For dinner last night, I had Toro Tamago Omoraisu, which is the... Is there a no in there? There might be a no in the middle of that, which is like mixed up egg with a brown sauce and some onion bits, served over top of a rice that's been sauteed in, cooked in, I'm not sure which way, ketchup. It is very, very tasty and is a recent traditional Japanese meal. Traditional since the 1940s, I believe. What happened in the 40s, Resorty? I don't know. I don't know why suddenly American food would show up, but it's very, very good and kind of beautiful. I realize I should not be showing more pictures. Let's see. So Toro Omorai. Oh boy. So Tamago is the next part of it. We'll see if that's enough to get the pictures here. Well, no, not so much. That's Toro. Should be Toro Tamago. Nope. Next part then. I'm going to put in omelette rice. I don't remember how to spell it in Japanese. Yes, it looks like this. Looks like that thing right there, which is kind of like an omelet, clearly. But it's totally full up with rice inside. And then I don't know what the kind of sauce is here. There's a thicker brown sauce that was used previously. Or used in mine last night. But yeah, you see the insides here. It's sauce and then rice and then some ketchup-y stuff. Some people put the ketchup on the outside, but not for me. There we go. Japanese foods. Hooray. I feel like in this playthrough, we've never had enough hauling going. And I don't know exactly why that is. I think we had some full-time hauler earlier. Yeah, we do. Unnamed Comet really is full-time hauler. The basis side, maybe we need a second full-time hauler. But Polizia is after the growing is done. I'm going to take Polizia off of growing for right now. And that will have just Kibs and Britches doing it. They have more than enough things... more than enough things planted right now. That will help some. Cool. Ketchup is ick. I'm not a huge fan of ketchup either, but at the same time, I am appreciative of the fine things that Japanese folks make. And I was surprised by how good the ketchup rice is. It really softens the sweetness of the ketchup. I don't know if they use a different ketchup here or what, but it's pretty good. But yeah, I like mustard a lot. Mustard on tortillas. That was a lunchtime meal for me for many, many, many months. Back during Depression time. It was pretty good. So I'm going to destroy this shelf here. We really only need one shelf to hold the meals we want. That will then save some from going bad, I hope. But yes, mustard on tortilla. Yesterday or day before, we found some tortillas for sale here. Like the kind of very standard, very cheap tortillas that one would find at most American stores. We can almost never find here. And having found some, very happy. Hey Max, good seeing you again. Welcome back to the stream. Timmy is over the infections. Still a little bit of pain. While you're in the bed there, why don't we go ahead and change out your right leg? Because that was not made yet. Jack has a little more work here. Jack, I think I have you on higher priority hauling than Jack. Than anything else. I'm going to stop that for now and have you return to crafting and smithing and so on. Okay. Gotta get little Timmy's leg finished. Unnamed, you were wounded before, but I think you're fine now. Yep. Minor blood loss, you'll be okay. And we need someone else to help with crafting to get more stones, more stones, more stones. So, Cyber Oracle is on crafting after mining is done, and construction also. Is there more mining to do? Nope. Right on the job. Good job. This is about all the steel we have left. We could dig more out here. I think there might be some very far away. Yeah, it's down here also, in Festival. But it's all very, very far away, unfortunately. No more clear, close-by locations. Alright, Timmy's up and around again. With Timmy up and around again, oh my goodness. I was gonna say there's a small elephant herd, but have they found friends? We can't find we can't fight 9 elephants simultaneously. Now the 2 that are off to the side here, I wonder if they're linked to the others. I don't know if it's based on range, if it's based on when they spawned. Another opportunity for Rimworld science, surely. Timmy, where's your rifle? Oh, goodness. Timmy's rifle has perhaps gone missing. So where did he go down? He went down while hunting down here, I believe. Yes, there it is. Timmy, get your gun. In this spot here should be just the storage of fine meals and simple meals. We'll say it's important it goes there, and on this one, we'll have just the same settings, so copy from here and paste to here. That one's only preferred. Okay, the leg exists. So Timmy, I'd like to give you a new right leg. One's infected, one's harmed. The right leg we replace. Mr. Science, let's do science on Timmy. This poor base is so full of prosthetic legs. I mean, we're not wearing, oh, I just remembered. I was going to say, we're not wearing armored legging. Maybe we should have that. With that said, we're still set up on emergency heat clothing, which means people are not wearing armor at all. So let's go back to allowing anything, and they'll get their armor back on almost surely. Man, I can't believe I forgot that, though. Had we gotten raided, I would have definitely marched out wearing just whatever garbage we have on. Mr. Science wants to wear the heavy armor. Mr. Science, because you're the hero of the playthrough, we'll allow that. Even though you're not a meleeer. I may change it out next time we have a melee raid occurring. I'm sorry, a raid where we need the meleeers to fight. We'll see, we'll see. I was there building a room around the geothermal event, luring raiders there and locking the door. It does get very hot. I know that some players do use either extreme heat or extreme cold to harm raiders on higher difficulties. I've never actually done it, though I understand in principle how one would do it. Timmy has the new leg. So Timmy's leg is off. No bleeding ever. Oh, it's not off yet. Here it is. I apologize. Come on. I just rub it. Got lucky that time. It all worked out. Good job, Timmy. So once Timmy's over the anesthesia, we'll then go hunt an elephant or two, perhaps. Or we could say buy some goats. I would say buy to some goats, possibly. Unfortunately, they're all named. Unfortunately. Of these various characters, I don't know Black Widow very well. I don't like Ant-Man very much. I haven't seen the movies, but with the bit I saw in the Avengers film, wasn't terribly impressed. Other ones are okay, though. Hawkeye's great. A prosthetic leg is better than a leg with a gunshot. Yeah, the leg with a gunshot had 82% efficiency and 9 pain points, 9% pain, where the prosthetic leg has no pain, of course, and then also has 85%. So a slight improvement in efficiency and a big improvement on pain. So hacking people's legs off all the live long day. Tim may now walk. Still a little woozy of anesthesia. Might throw up a little bit. That's okay. More pants on the ground. Always the pants on the ground. Over and over and over again. I'm hoping we get a matter pack. That's not true. I'm hoping we get a what's it called? An animal convoy. A roaming, migrating herd. There we go. For us to fight, because as of right now, meat is holding us back from the production of our pack of survival meals. Also, I'm seeing that cleaning is not getting done. Rog should be doing cleaning. Rog's eating food instead. And then back to cleaning. Now, just stuff in the kitchen especially. Those packages they threw on the floor. 5 points to go. We can make heavy SMGs. I kind of want to make one of those for the character with absolutely terrible aiming because of missing their body parts. But now it is time for microelectronics to help us speed up our production of research and all the rest. And it will not fit in the normal research room, so I'll have to put it in the big new hallway of research. And that'll be fine. Oh, goats. Oh, goats. I don't know. Are the elephants still spread out? There's one to the south here. It's time for a nighttime hunting trip. Everyone, let's come on down. Whole team arrives together. If they all revenge. They all revenge. If they all revenge. If they all revenge. We just want Timmy to start this thing. He has high handling-ish, high shooting. This is fine. Okay, it's been shot. So it's actively bleeding out. It will die on its own. Totally isolated. All alone. Is anyone else home then? Timmy, it's just you. I believe it's the case that once one isolates, it can't call its herd to save it. Oh, it's terrible. This is terrible. Down it goes. Timmy, finish it off, please. Good. That'll be enough meat to make some more pack survival meals. With this in mind, I'm going to say of the simple meals, no more meat allowed. The fine meals must have protein. I'm saying no meat allowed also. They can then use the eggs that are dropped. Though we still have only the one chicken, so just one egg every once in a while, and that's okay. There's some mod that allows the kitchen to be clean before they cook anything. Yeah, I know there's some mod where the cook will automatically be a cleaner also. It's a nice mod. Nice mod for sure. But I think we might need some more cleaners. Overnight Cyber Oracle. I'm going to kick you up to cleaning as well. So clean, then craft, then whatever else. Good. I see the goal command says I plan to leave during today's stream. That was absolutely true, but with the paucity of meat for pack survival, I'm a little less sure about that. We also have not had any traders visit recently. So I think that my cougar just ate something there. I don't know who or what it is. It wouldn't be one of the friendly animals. Oh, you know what else Jack can eat? Jack can say hello to our former enemies here. I wouldn't mind a small raid right now. Emphasis on small. Really, when I say small, I mean small. So, we'll see how it goes. There's Mr. Science dragging the elephant's body around. Chop chop. With that, we now have elephant tusks, which give 6, 8, 9, and 27% on the fighting. I believe a normal steel sword is better than that. Let's make sure that is true. I actually do not have a normal steel sword. We have a normal uranium sword as the worst current weapon. So, your stats are 8, 5, 8, 36. The elephant tusks are only for selling to, or no, aren't they used in Chinese medicine for virility and so on? I think that might be right. Medium psychic drone against all the females. What's this one about? What's the medium psychic drone? This time it's, did you see that anonymous Facebook post that said that someone in their life has been unkind? You imagine it's all about you. They didn't use a name. They didn't say who it is who's acting up, but you're pretty sure it's you. You make it all about yourself yet again. Oh, it's terrible. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. It can't all really be about you. We could make more traps in the south here. That's the one place that are not traps, sorry, more guns in the south. We have north and east covered. I feel silly building things. Now that we're thinking so serious about leaving, I feel very silly. But how are we going to fuel anyway? Are the ships all full of fuel? They are all full. And you start getting chem fuel to store inside of them for the boat ride though. So there's chem fuel somewhere. I'd like to have at least one full stack of chem fuel instead of each ship. I don't exactly know the relationship between fuel and how far the boats go. I bet it's a number of tiles or days of movement or something. So I'm gonna go 75, which is a full load. Cool. Once we have the 75, we'll dump it in the ship. We'll do 4 of those. And I'll trust there'll be enough fuel to get us across from here to our island. Which again is 9 days, I believe. Is that true? I think again, it's 9 days if we're empty in the ships. Oops. From there to there. Actually, only 7, 9, 8 days now. 8 days in total. Okay. Rog has nothing to do. Does that mean all cleaning is actually done, Rog? Really? Really? No cleaning, no hauling, no nothing. I guess I'm gonna have you then work on making more stones. I see need you not to craft nice things. So you can do that by saying on all the other jobs, you must have a certain level of skill. That's tailoring and smithing. This is crafting. There is no quality of chem fuel, and you can't fail in it, I'm pretty sure. So I do not mind at all them trying to create a chem fuel very, very slowly. An eclipse, less light than before. The batteries are still holding up okay. We don't need the third one quite yet. Only issue, as always, is once we turn the guns on, the batteries run down fairly quickly. So a common way of doing that is throwing a battery inside of the cycle, and then having it on a switch also to give backup power to the guns. But in this base, that's not exactly needed, I don't think. $11:45. My eyes are stuck on the clock much more than usual today. Because usually after Saturday streams, just kind of like hang out, do the crossword, maybe nap or something. But today we're going to see a friend to eat lunch with him, and so I don't want to be late for that. But he could definitely hang out and figure out his own problems, fill some time possibly. I still want to be respectful of his time. And I do so by stealing stream time from you all. Terribly sorry. Science guy is back to cooking. We're up to 26 meals now. About a quarter of the way where we want to be. Maybe a little under a quarter of the way. Chem fuel lives where? There is chem fuel somewhere. Ah, there it is. Just didn't see it before. After we traverse the globe, we'll be revisiting old bases. So unfortunately, with at least default vanilla Rimworld, when you go to your old bases, there's nothing there. They're loaded out of memory and just gone, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be very cool. It'd be very, very cool to be able to visit your old bases for sure. Finally, the third marriage is coming. Yeah, Rimworld's a game that's made for playing in just one base at a time. And so if you have 2 bases, 3 bases, they'll all get raided, and that's kind of terrible. But also, when you abandon them, they just go away. You don't have to abandon them, it's true. But then raiders will attack them, and the base will burn down. So you can leave old people behind at the different bases, but I don't know. In this case, I'm trying to keep the team more or less together. The idea of making a playthrough where we defend all the old bases until we get around, while hilarious, would require just so many active characters. I'm not sure. Do I try to time my streams around US or EU time zones? So to be completely honest with you, I have my stream time based on when my wife works. And she works from about 8:30 to about 5:30 or so Japan time. And so I tend to stream from 8:30 Japan time till about noon, 1, 2 maybe Japan time. And it happens to work well with US evening. It's not good for our EU friends because it is the middle of the night. But unfortunately my stream times are dependent entirely on when my wife works because I want to be available for her when she's home. So that's how it goes. The marriage begins, finally. Rog and Mr. Science have been lovers for years and years. They finally decided to have the emotional bond, and more importantly, the legal bond, because there's a law out here on the rim. Many of you have been telling me there's no Geneva Convention, or at least marriage still means something. From New Zealand, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Absolutely. Yeah, a long time ago, I decided I could not determine my stream time based on being good for anyone, or even a population. It has to be what's good for me personally, or else I get really, really stressed out, and I break my relationship with my wife, and I can't have that. Like, if I said to her, sweetie, it's best for the stream if I stream from like 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Japan time, I think that she would accept it. But it'd be one of those, if you say you're doing this, there may be some consequences to our relationship. And so, it's one of those things I would not want to test, because I like her a lot, and I want to keep her happy. And that's good for us and good for me too. But, there's a possibility at some point we'll move back to the US, and then stream time be American work day, and the Europeans will rejoice, and as happens. Hawkeye pregnant once again. Hawkeye pregnant again. Will little Timmy get a sister or a brother? So unfortunately we're playing with no DLC, so the act of heart making does not lead to any children ever. Alright, we gotta have another Avenger Marvel character. Let's put Deadpool in here. Is that Marvel or is that DC? I don't know. Maybe crossing stuff over. We're next to have what else do we need? Wrexham Football Club. That's DC. Well, we managed to cross the wires. Good to good. Cross the streams. What's growing here? These are dandelions. Dandelions grow somewhat quickly, fast enough to keep the animals largely happy. Deadpool's Marvel. Wait, y'all are confused. Max is DC, everyone says Marvel. Fine. Fine. Haven't tried that? Yeah, it's a good way to let the animals largely care for themselves. At this point, we're growing 0.46 nutrition. The animals are eating 5.36, so eventually they'll all starve, but not yet at least. So the majority of channels says that, says that Marvel is, or Deadpool is Marvel. By the power of democracy, we've declared today that Deadpool is Marvel. Marvelous, thank you. Are we confused with one person trolling? I can't distinguish easily, so I'm going to announce that you all are confused. That's better for me that way. Okay. Those piles are stacking up nicely. 54 now. Yeah, we're not going to be able to leave today, but we are getting closer. And we finally made some kibble also. This kibble needs to live outside so that our big cat has something to eat. We'll call it the kitty treats. He can find his own cat grass eventually. But this is going to be just kibble. And it's going to be critically important it lives there. Good. Power's really running out in a hurry. I didn't make anything new that should be consuming big power. The guns are off the line. Yeah, it may have just been a few days of light wind, possibly. Perhaps. We need to get more meat once again. Hello, wildlife. Any loose elephants? Alright, we're seeing loose elephants. So little Timmy, Cyber Oracle, unnamed comet. We'll see how this goes. We are getting trapped here now, so if necessary, we can pull away and run them through the traps. That said, elephants are absolute tanks, and so it perhaps does not matter if we have traps in place for them. Timmy, first shot, go. Running to the herd. Oh boy. Okay, we scared them all. That means they're all active. Watch them scatter. This one's off by itself. And the one's bleeding. Which one is bleeding? I don't see any active blood. So, Timmy, let's go do this yourself. Various bows would sell for a little bit of money. I'm kind of just ignoring them right now. Okay. So, that one will bleed out. Also, the permanent gunshot injury to the brain. Timmy, you're a heartless man. Okay. That's enough. So this one will definitely die on its own. We're going to... Actually, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to hunt it. I don't want people to run out there and start shooting into the whole herd. Now, with it going down, it will start healing up. I'm just not sure if it can heal over top of that much damage taken. So we'll send Cyber Oracle out to see what we can finish off. Oh, they're all gathering around. They're trying to care for it. I'm sorry. It's just gonna die, I think. Well, we leave nature to take its course. Who am I to interfere in the ways of nature? Hey, we have no non-pack survived meals. How'd that happen? No, but really, how'd that happen? Okay, we keep heading towards starvation very quickly. And I don't know what I have going wrong that's causing that. Rogbred has a better chance of recruiting someone. So definitely pack survived meals is well below everything else. It's only make with veggies. Maybe we ran out of veggies. There's 75 there now, so we're going to be just fine. Which means I can stop early harvesting the rice. Don't you worry, team. There's food again. And Unnamed Comet and Rog and Jack have all developed the flu. Oh no. They all get into bed right away. These are not good 10s, because Kibbs is bad at medicine. So let me lower you Kibbs off of doctoring. And Mr. Science will go care for them instead. 1 elephant meat left behind. It's okay. And I believe the first stack of fuel was loaded into the SS Noah's Ark. Yes? Good. Next stack to be made. We need 3 more of those. Is anyone wearing armored leggings right now? We do have quite a few of them. So Rog is, and Rog is a meleeer. I'm considering making my meleeers all wear the armored pants, just to do a little bit better in combat, but for right now, anyone who wants to wear them is fine. It's not crazy hot here. Only 37°C. I do enjoy saying it. It's not crazy hot, but still. No starvation. Actually, for the first time in a very long time, we have no warnings at all. Not a single thing is wrong with this base. It's all going beautifully. I'm going to stop planting more heal root. I'm not going to stop on the food quite yet, though. Except for this one, I'm going to move over to being just rice also. We're getting close to leaving. Once those potatoes pop, assuming I can get enough meat, we'll be fine. Oh no, a dead elephant. How could this ever happen? Oh, they're staying nearby, seeing what happens with his body. Don't worry, Politsia is coming from the local funeral home. We'll ensure your elephant friend a happy transport to the afterlife. They understand. They get it. Alright. I can definitely fight 3 elephants at once. Past that, I'm not sure. Let's do 3, though. Oh boy, hit every single one. There's revenge. Other elephants nearby have also become enraged. Those 2 are enraged. That one's not. It's just these 2. Alright, this is fine. Timmy, run straight backwards. Science and Kibbs, I need you again. Cyber Oracle as well. Yeah, only 2. We're fine. Okay, you pull back also. Run! Oh gosh, they caught little Timmy. I was definitely distracted by this one down here. Getting closer, team. So turn and fire here. Good stuff. Thank you for the slow. Nice. Nasu Nasu. There's a little bit more meat than I actually wanted, but that's okay. I still have 4 remaining out there. This elephant is not that wounded. 1 second. Ah, it's one that's wandering. I don't think it's going to bleed out. It will not bleed out. More meat, more good. Only problem is my freezer has been inconsistently keeping things cold. There's a possibility that it'll get too warm and it will rot. But that'll be enough to get us in good position for more meals. I want to put one more of you right here. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Actually, instead of doing that, let's make another whole shelf here, which will then link up, and that will hold enough meals for us to go, most likely. So it's showing no meals. We do have 9 of them right there, though. They just haven't been hauled over quite yet. They'll get there soon. Good. Okay, what else needs doing while we're waiting? I said I wanted to make a heavy SMG for my character who's very bad at shooting. Considering making 2 of them even. It's just steel plus components, right? 4 components. We still have more than enough of those. Great. We have components from earlier shredding a bunch of mechs, I think. So, Kibbs, you're the one with a 5 in shooting, but very bad manipulation. Cyber Oracle, you are a 7 in shooting. So, I want to have 2 heavy SMGs for them. The Trigger Happy plus heavy SMG is good fun, good fun, good fun. We'll take that higher, and then make sure only my best smith does so. That is Jack. Jack, why are you sleeping? Yeah, definitely nighttime's awake time for Jack. Oh, you're resting. I put everyone up on high level of patienting and such. We'll lower back down again. And increase as necessary. There you go. There you go, Jack. Random items on the floor throughout is another sign of we need more shelves once more. I think they can walk through the geyser there and get a little bit of a quick clean, little refreshing blast. It's like when you're done with the it's like when you're done with your car wash in the US. You get to drive very slowly out of it with some giant wind machine blowing at your car, blowing the little beads of water away. An elephant, having realized that the time of his people is sooner to end, has joined the team. Hello, elephant number 1. Because I'm going to take good care of elephant number 1, I'll name you after a viewer. So, thank you, HPG, for the generous tip today. Hit people fant. Are you okay with that? Hit people fant all the way. Welcome to the world. Yeah, giant pack animal. It'll be a good experience. You're not wounded at all, are you? Oh, it's got a gunshot in the leg. If only I can give you a peg leg instead. Don't go into that room. Don't see what's happening in there. It can now stay outside. Good start. You're sworn to carry my burdens. Oh no, Lydia. Don't you complain too much. Oh, Lydia. Sworn to carry my burdens. Science guys, stop having fun. Back to work you go. Oh, the tending of the flus. Remember the part where I said, like, oh, don't sleep in bed anymore? I forgot that 3 characters have the flu. Let's figure out who those folks are. Alright, unnamed comet. Untended, running in circles. Unnamed comet, back to being in bed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. Cyber Oracle, you're fine. Rog, I yelled at you for being in bed. I remember doing that earlier. I'm so sorry. It was definitely on me. Good. And the last person ill is Jack, staying in bed correctly. Unfortunately, he's behind on immunity. So Jack, you need to stay in bed also. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Alright, this will be fine. A bad boss? I mean, they need to work. I make sure they work. And we have how much industrial medicine? Only 2. So learning how to make drugs may be more important than microelectronics. We'll head in the direction of medicine production eventually. Once we establish who's farthest behind, I will then have that person go into industrial medicine. Now, unfortunately, it's afternoon, so I need to pause the game there. I said that today would be the last Rimworld day for a while. What that means is I guarantee by the time I come back that I will have forgotten about the infections. So let me make myself a note out here. Flu. Flu. And we will close the game looking at this so we know what the problem is. Cool. Friends, like I said, we've played about 2 weeks of Rimworld now, really enjoying it the whole way through. I just need to take the occasional break from the game or else I will probably burn out. So as of right now, I'm saying Monday's stream will be something different. I don't know what it will be, but probably not Rimworld, but we'll get back to Rimworld after a couple weeks. There are a bunch of games over in the recommendation channel on Discord. I might check those out. It also might be time for us to play a Paradox game or, gosh, I'm not quite sure what. So I'll spend tomorrow thinking about it. Tomorrow's my day off. Hope you have a good day without me, and I'll be back tomorrow. Which will I'll say tomorrow. Sorry, today is is Saturday. Back on Monday, not tomorrow, day after. Whichever way, there are words, and we appreciate you. We'll see you again real soon. Goodbye, friends.